Today's episode of What Happened When Monday is brought to you by SaveCade.com. And Tony, I think you have outdone yourself. If you're listening to this and you haven't checked out SaveCade.com, you need to, not just because we'll be able to save some money, but this video is off the damn rails. It's SAVECADE. Tony, how in the world did you come up with this? This is proof that you take drugs.
Maybe used to. I don't know if I do anymore, but I do need to say that when I bring up SaveCade, there's a shot of me that looks awfully fat on there. I don't know how that came about. Maybe it's the way I look, but I do want to remind people that you can stop wrestling with debt, put your butt in the seat, fast and easy, no credit check to be a part of SaveCade.com, Conrad.
Well, and what's fun is, the site even says Mortal Kombat all of your debt. No more hard way or easy way, brother. Maybe that old kitchen's gotta go. Maybe you're desperately out of time to pay your house off faster. Well, we want to let you know that you don't need good luck and credit. Your credit doesn't have to look as good as the Z-Man did. And you can own a house with no money down, which is coincidentally how much money Evan Courageous drew. You can make this fast and easy. It can even be the greatest night in the history of our great sport when you skip your next two house payments. And maybe you could even lower your monthly payments, which probably would have been helpful when WCW was taken over by Bill Watts and he cut your pay, right, Tony?
Yes, you can cut years off your loan, consolidate your debt, stop making the minimum payments. Believe you me, that will get you behind. And get a greater tax deduction, Conrad. It's all part of SaveCade.com. And what I love about it is you can own your own home with no money down.
My favorite thing about the thing, though, is you fucking dancing and singing. I'm not making this up. Tony Schiavone dances and sings. You've got to see it. Even if you don't actually need a home loan or need to save money, you've got to see Tony singing and dancing at SaveCade.com. That's SAVECADE. NMLS number 65084, Equal Housing Lender.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett for Starcade, 605 NWA, TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede, Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team, Turner, Bodden, Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North they win, look Schiavone's back again, World Title split off, center stage, Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro, New World Order, and The Crow, Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie, Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh, lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan, Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chant, Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when?
WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When on the MLW Radio Network. And of course, the master of ceremonies is with us, Mr. Tony Schiavone. Tony, how's it going, man? How are you?
Hey, am I really a master of ceremonies? I mean,
Yeah, you are. Here's the deal. You're a really big deal. And I didn't even really know how big of a deal you are. So I guess I owe you an apology because to me, you're just my buddy, Tony. But apparently you're a fucking real big star.
I'm not buying that.
No. Here's why I know you're a big star. I'm almost reluctant to talk about this because I know you're going to shit on me for it. But I put your tickets on sale. Yes, I guess I'm a half-ass promoter now. Go ahead and bury me now.
Hey, no, whoa, stop. You're not a half-ass promoter. You're a full-ass promoter. But go ahead.
Well, yeah. So I put your dinner on sale. We're doing an eat and greet at Starcast. And you were the first one to sell out.
Gee whiz.
I'm talking about you sold out before Kevin Sullivan. You sold out before Ron Simmons. You sold out before Medusa. You sold out before Double J. You sold out before Bischoff. You sold out before Pritchard. You sold out before Lex Luger. You sold out before Animal. You sold out before Jerry Lawler. You sold out before the Horsemen. You sold out before Terry Funk. You sold out before anybody.
My God.
And then we did like this retro promo thing, which I'm really excited about. I think it's a real innovation We've got the old TBS set being recreated. We've got you a JCP Sports blazer being made. We've got an old school microphone, and people are going to be able to even wear a Ric Flair robe if they want to and hold the real big gold belt and do a promo with you like it's 1986 all over again. And that sold out immediately. Schiavone sold out immediately. Everything I put with your name on there on Starcast sells out. So you're a real big star, Con, sir.
Well, you know what? Thanks to you and thanks to the fans too. I'm humbled. I really am. I guess the Schiavone is the Schiavone eat and greet thing sold out because everybody says, well, Schiavone will motherfuck us for about an hour, so we might as well go in and enjoy that. So
yeah, I didn't know that people would pay to be motherfucked, but I guess they will. So thank you for that, and maybe we should motherfuck them today. Let's talk about why we're here, though. It's a big occasion, man. We're on the 20-year anniversary of one of the biggest moments in wrestling history. Of course, that anniversary is upon us this Friday, July 6th. And if we go all the way back to July 6th, 1998, episode number 147 of Monday Nitro, it's going to be one of, and arguably the most historic and important Nitro of all time. Fire up your WWE Network, and I'll let you tag somebody in here, Tony. We'll get started.
Okay, let's go for the queen of slapdicks. You know her name, Lois, if you'll come in and give us a 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'll do it in French, and I'll do it right this time. Okay? 1, 2, 3, je hit.
Well, we start out with me talking with James J. Dillon. Isn't that a way to just shut down the whole show? Gee whiz. JJ is going to make the announcement. I'm going to make the announcement. I'm going to, and as JJ is notorious to do, it's like, you know what, JJ, I love you, but get to the freaking point, would you please? Okay. Just announce Goldberg and Hogan. We know it's coming up. Jesus, man. I just, so anyway, this happened on Thunder, as you can see, on July 2nd, 1998. And the, you know, I don't want to see like I'm self-centered because I'm not. What are you for?
I'm sick. I'm sick. That's all.
Okay. But damn, I was fat back then.
Back then.
Fat. Yeah. Okay. But I was, and it's that.
Let me tell you, it's a great joke. It's a Mitch Hedberg joke back in the day. He said, I used to do drugs. I still do, but he used to too. It's like, I used to be fat. I still am, but he used to too.
That's right. Oh, how about that? And the fans go wild. Oh my God, it's Hogan and Goldberg. And now let's go to the graphics. Wow, man. And is there anybody in America who is tuning in on July 6, 1998 that thinks that Goldberg is going to lose this title?
Well,
No.
I mean, I think a lot of people, yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of people thought he could, not clean, but there could have been some sort of DQ, you know, where Goldberg wins by disqualification. The streak continues, but he doesn't win the belt.
That, you know, that's right. And I guess if you go back to Starcade, right, with Hogan and Sting,
Right.
you can say, well, there's going to be something fucked up at the finish of it. And we're going to get screwed. But that did not happen. And one thing I like about this incarnation of the Nitro girls as they get ready to dance in the ring is that Rebecca Whisper, of course, who went on to be Shawn Michaels' wife, was part of those. And she was, and I loved them all. I really did, as you know. But she was one of the nicest ladies I'd ever met in my life. She was like, because of her personality and because of her looks, as close to a perfect 10 that I had ever seen in my life. She was such a nice lady. And there you go. It takes more than just looks to be a perfect 10 in my book. But hey, 39,919 is what we announced for this, Conrad. 3919. And when I see this, and when we see it a little bit later on, oh, there is, oh my goodness. Where was I here? Okay, so there's Rebecca. So when I see this, I just wonder, how in the hell did we go out of business?
Well,
how did we fuck this up?
We're going to talk about it because there's going to be a lot of moments and decisions that people have to defend. And this is one of them, really. I mean, it sort of gets glossed over that because this is such a big Nitro
Yeah.
This is the go home show for Bash at the Beach.
Right.
Bash at the Beach 1998 is the biggest WCW buy rate of all time. A lot of people talk about Starcade 97 as being the biggest pay-per-view ever, and it was up to that point.
Okay.
But the show 6 days after this beat it. And by the way, your chair was never higher than right here. Look at this.
I'm sitting on a phone book, as a matter of fact. Absolutely. Or I even have a turd come out of my ass, and it shot me up another 6 inches. I don't know what it was, but one of those two. But there you see Larry Zbyszko doing as only he can do, man. He is pontificating, and we are, Tanae and I are really enjoying it. We enjoy it. Let's see, I'm looking at Tanae. We're really enjoying when Larry goes on one of his tirades, man. He could really put words together. He was really good at that, man. And that's one of the reasons, probably the main reason he got over. So he's going to go out and he's going to say hello to the fans. And of course he gets a reaction, but the reaction had been very, very big at that time. So we're all pretty pumped up here. And yes, how high is my chair? Oh, man.
Massive.
Man, like my belly right there and like my double chin. Which, by the way, I'm 25 pounds down on DDP Yoga.
Oh, bang.
Bang. Thank you very much. And DDP is going to come out later on in the show and talk about that along with Carl Malone. But now Mike Tenay is going to have a few words for us. And Mike's going to, talk about the stuff that he has already scripted for himself. Mike Tenay, my buddy, the professor that I named, has kind of gone incognito. He's kind of been MIA, hasn't he? I mean, no one has seen from him in a long time.
I mean, I think he's still alive. I don't think he's dead or anything.
Well, he is still alive.
Yeah.
But he has just kind of removed himself from the wrestling business somewhat the way I did back in 2001. Take a look at this crowd. And we're going to start it out with Hollywood Hulk Hogan and your buddy, Conrad Eric Bischoff, making their way to the ring. Yes, sir, man. They're going to start it off here. And Hogan is going to come out here, and just to refresh everybody's memory, and, of course, when I watched this earlier, it refreshed mine, gave a great heel promo, had a lot of pauses, as a heel would do, to let the fans boo his ass, and talk about the fact that Goldberg here is going to have to wrestle another member of his NWO and beat him before he gets to him. And that refreshed my memory on that. I had forgotten that.
A lot of people have. Goldberg didn't just wrestle once. He wrestled twice.
Yes, he wrestled twice. And there's a lot to be said about that first match, because that first match really was better than the second. And we're going to see that a little bit, but that's because Scott Hall was such a great worker. And that, again, is not to shit on Hulk Hogan. But another thing came into play here. This is the South. This is Atlanta, Georgia. Goldberg is a Georgia Bulldog, and Hulk Hogan is still seen by many as the champion from the North. So this was very much North against South here. And this is what helped, really, I think, as much as anything else, or take a look at those signs, would you? My God. As much as anything else, really put this show over the top. Hogan looked great here too, man, didn't he? Holy shit.
I just love everything about Hogan in this era. And I know I'm in the minority, and most people prefer the Hulkamania Hulk Hogan. And I love that one too. I mean, that's what I grew up on. But this era of Hulk Hogan is so great. I mean, this is a guy who would go out and get the shit beat out of him on a pay-per-view. And then the next night, just brag about how I ripped him limb from limb. It was so great. And so, a lot of my friends were like, no, he didn't. I hate him. He's a liar. And I'm like, that's kind of the idea.
I know. Flair used to say a lot of time in the backstage area, he would say, we're heels. We get our ass beat every night, and then we lie about it the next day. And that's what great heels would do. How about your buddy, the disciple over there on the right? Kind of got a...
With the world title, where it belongs, over his shoulder.
Well, he's the disciple, and he carries the shit, right? Wouldn't that always been the way it happened? He carried the shit.
Wait, are you insinuating that Brutus was a weed carrier?
No, I'm telling you that he's carrying the... You're putting words in my mouth again, you son of a bitch.
You said he carried
I'm saying that he's got the title. He's carrying the title.
You said the shit. I didn't know what that meant.
Okay.
By the way, let's just run through this. This is a couple of months after the incredible win streak from WCW had ended. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon finally put together a match in April of 98 and beat Nitro after 83 consecutive weeks of Nitro winning. And now it's sort of been back and forth. And a lot of people would say that Eric was sort of hitting the panic button on losing to the WWF and felt like he was losing some momentum in the ratings. Business wasn't down. Day one sales for this particular show were over $400,000 for day one. So business isn't down, but a lot of people say that Eric maybe hit the panic button a little prematurely in booking Goldberg and Hogan and doing it on TV rather than a pay-per-view. We'll talk about that aspect in a little bit, but let me ask you this. Do you feel like the match was booked? Not whether or not it should have been. We'll debate that later. Do you think this match was put together in an effort to sort of notch a guaranteed win for WCW this week?
Yeah, there was no question. I don't know if you and Eric have covered this show yet or not. And I don't know if it's out there, but I really think this showed me two things. This showed me that, well, we're at the Georgia Dome and Goldberg's such a big deal. Let's really ratchet this up and put him over to really spike our ratings here. And I don't think there was any question about that. I don't know if, and Eric was much closer to the numbers than I was. I didn't even look at the numbers really. So it does seem like panic because let's face it, if this would have been on pay-per-view, it would have been a gigantic buy rate, even though you said the next pay-per-view is our biggest one ever.
Yeah.
There's no way that Dennis Rodman and Hulk Hogan against Diamond Dallas Page and the Mailman compares to the main event on this one. No way.
Well, you do have a lot of the mainstream. And so to me, you could have, if you wanted to, done a screw job here, done the NBA thing real big in July, do the silly August bullshit, have some sort of War Games thing with teams where if Goldberg's team wins, and then you could have paid it off at Halloween Havoc 98 because that's really your super show for WCW. You could have done Goldberg Hogan at Havoc 98 and then the rematch maybe at Starcade. Now, what the fuck do I know? I'm just armchair quarterbacking 20 years later.
I mean, there's something to be said for that, but here's my question. If you do the screw job here, how much are you hurting your business? Just a question.
Well, in fairness, when I'm saying a screw job, I just mean the way that, you historically have built big matches is
right.
He just can't get a fair shake and we're building towards it. And so that's the reason all those steps were invented back in the day, or at least that's what I've been led to believe.
Well, yeah, it was because you have a match and then you have a no disqualification. And then you have, 2 out of 3 or whatever. Then you blow it off in a cage match.
There you go. There you go.
Normally do. So yeah, I understand that. But there have been a lot of people had Goldberg not gone over, just completely shit on the show, and they may have shit on the show anyway. I don't know. I never saw the ratings, or I never saw.
In fairness, I think you could still have Goldberg pick him up. I mean, he could have still speared him. He could have still jackhammered him. He could have done all of that. But then right when it looked like he was about to beat him, there's some sort of schmoz finish.
Right.
Like, if Bret Hart wasn't already with the NWO here, what if Bret Hart was put into place to be the referee here and he goes down to count Goldberg's win 1, 2, and then flips Goldberg off. And now we're off to the races. And that gives Goldberg an opponent for Bash at the Beach with Bret Hart. And, we're off and running.
Do you know the email of WWE Creative? Look at those.
Dude, it's ridiculous. It is a sea of signs here.
Unbelievable.
It's
just absolutely unbelievable. And look at this and listen to how the crowd was. And we had good bumps with, some guys talking about Hulk Hogan. You're going to go down because it's the South. And Goldberg is our Southern champion. Hell yeah, go Dogs. Woohoo. Something like that.
Dude, I swear when I saw this week, I thought for a minute, I'm like, man, I really need to timestamp this and make sure that I understand that can't be Heath Slater, because it sounds just like Heath Slater on WWE.
It might have been. There have been pictures of the Hardy Boys in the crowd in North Carolina for us back then.
It'd be so awesome if it was him. Oh, by the way, How about this Valvoline thing is Sin Power? I feel like that was what Klondike Bill was powered by.
Yes, he was, man. He loved Sin Power. You know what else? He loved to lube things up too, if you know what I'm saying. Absolutely.
Give everybody a time cue here where we are.
Okay, the time cue is, as we're rolling here, I'm at 1340, 41, 42, 43, 44. And we're into a Hulk Hogan buy your NWO t-shirt and your Hollywood Hogan t-shirt.
And
man,
by the way, if you wanted one of those shirts, you sent your money to a P.O. box in Birmingham, Alabama.
how about I?
Why would that be? Do you know?
I don't know, but hey, hold on. Tony Schiavone, we are standing here with a young man out of Bessemer, Alabama, who we understand won this car, this Mark Martin race car from Valvoline. Now, you won the race car, we understand, and tell us about how you won it. No, I stole the motherfucker, Gene. You stole it. Yes, I'm from Alabama. I'm from Bessemer, Alabama, and I stole it. So you stole the car, and let me tell you, ask you, has anyone ever come to knocked on your door? No, only people knock on my door are homeless. All right. Could we get your name? I'd rather not say my name. Okay. He didn't want to say his name, but he did steal the car. Now this car, we understand, which apparently is hot. I don't mean to the touch. I mean, it's been stolen, is one of the cars that Mark Martin used to win the race in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, my question to you is that if the police come after you looking for this car that you stole, come on back in here, looking for this car that you stole, are you going to get in the car and drive down through Bessemer, Alabama, away from the police? I mean, that to me would seem the only logical thing that you can do to get away from it. Because, I mean, look, we appreciate you being here, but please, okay, thank you. Please, don't steal a car, especially if you're from Bessemer, Alabama. That guy actually won that car, you know. Won that car. Won a race car that you can't drive on the street.
What's going on with this?
With what?
Like winning a race car.
I know. I mean, I don't get it. I winning tickets to a race. Yeah, I get it. Or winning a trip to Talladega. I get it. Or maybe going to Charlotte, going to somewhere else, going to Daytona Beach to the Daytona 500. But winning a race car, man, he was excited about it. I think it's a great way to start it out, man. Dean Malenko, look at the crowd. Holy shit, man. I mean, it was, look, they obviously put a curtain, and it was half a house as far as that is concerned. But, man, it looked spectacular. And it's something that, yeah, I know in this day and age, the WrestleMania would sell out the entire thing. But back in 1998, this was a big deal. And, you know, fans were they were really big into Hogan and Goldberg. And Goldberg was the big thing that night. But, hey, Conrad, the fans were big into raising the roof there that night, too, weren't they? Look at that. Just goes to show you, if you have a gesture like bang with the diamond cutter or raising the roof, fans, or yes, fans will get into that stuff.
Man, what a fucking fun time to be a wrestling fan. I remember loving both of these guys. These are two incredible performers. I'm probably in the minority.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Booker T's in 1998 better than any other year for him.
Yeah, I would agree. Now I haven't seen much of or any of Booker T in the WWE since then. I know he changed his hairstyle, but man, he looks sharp here.
I love that you say, "Oh no, I agree." I didn't see him in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13. But yeah, 98 was the best.
98 was the best. Well, that was the era, man. That was absolutely it. He did a lot of great shit, man. And of course, he and Malenko were two fine performers. Absolutely two. Look at that drop toe hold by Malenko and to her front face lock. And Billy, don't call me Sarah Silverman, the referee. Going to come up a little bit later on in an angle that's leading to the cruiserweight title match coming up at Bash of the Beach between Malenko and Chris Jericho, which, by the way, is a very, very good angle as we're going to watch here a little bit later on. But, I think I've brought this up before. It's worth bringing up again. I saw Dean Malenko recently. He's one of the agents backstage. in the WWE. And like all the agents, he seemed kind of miserable to me. Here's a pickup and a slam. And that's just an opinion of mine. There was nothing that they told me that would make me believe that, but I can pretty much read people, I would think. Look at that great go behind by Malenko. Did you ever see anything with his father back in the day, years ago?
No.
Professor Boris Malenko?
I did love the great Malenko album from the Insane Clown Posse. Have you heard that before?
I have not heard that before.
Oh, you should listen to that.
Missed the missile dropkick. The great Malenko, or Professor Boris Malenko, was a great heel. The Crockett's had him in the 70s, man. He was the there's a roll-up. He was the manager of Bill Eadie, the Masked Superstar, at one time. Had a great angle with him. And I know Dick Bourne will remember this. Him and the Mighty Igor, where they took the cigar from Malenko and burned Igor's eye. He had to wear an eye patch. It was just, man, it was good stuff. Old school stuff, man. So I had a lot of respect for, oh, man, fuck. What a bump. And the fans really responded to that.
No doubt.
Wow. Pick him up and then slam him down. Maybe a scissor kick coming. You think so? No, it's a spin wheel kick. And the fans really respond to it, and they're back into it once again. You know, the anticipation for this, look at this, is absolutely tremendous. The anticipation for this whole night. And the fact that they're going to see Goldberg wrestle twice now, I don't know if many of the fans understood what was going on or not. Maybe they just thought it was more Hogan bullshit, or NWO, if you will, bullshit. But I don't know if they understood they were going to see Goldberg. And here we go. Yeah, baby. One of the great heels that we had at that time. He really was. And that's one of the reasons he became a big superstar, because he was really, really good at talking, at being a heel. I mean, he just came across as this aloof, goofy, and he wasn't from California, but he looked it. California type, airhead that just loved to, talk down to people and bullshit with people. And so he got a lot of heat just by what he was saying, and he caused Dean to lose right there as well. So there, step one in the angle between those two, as Jericho causes Dean Malenko to lose.
An early Monday Night Jericho shirt, the airbrushed version.
Did they sell those?
No, but they did sell a Monday Night Jericho shirt. I had one. I got one for my birthday. I remember that very well.
God bless your parents.
Yeah, they supported wrestling, man. Who would have thought? Look at this fucking asshole.
Fuck, he's on something. I think he's on maybe heroin or LSD or something.
Like Super Mario on mushrooms.
That's what it was. Oh, get ready to do the push-ups on 3 chairs, and Goldberg is getting ready, and that's coming up tonight
that
on
was really
Monday
weird.
Nitro.
That was really weird. That shot.
Well, yeah, it was.
I imagine.
Karl Malone. I just want to say that I'm one of the greatest NBA players of all time, but unfortunately I'm also from Louisiana, so I was a big wrestling fan. So I'm going to get hooked up in this shit tonight with on Sunday night with Dennis Rodman. Rodzilla, I'm coming to kick your ass.
By the way, is it just me, or does Karl Malone have a tiny head?
I didn't notice, but I guess I will notice here a little bit later on, because he's going to come out.
When he was that angle, they shot right there, it looked like he had like the Beetlejuice shrunken head.
Could be. Oh, Chris Kanyon comes out, and this is the development of the Kanyon character, where he took off Mortis's mask and says he no longer wants to be Mortis. It actually looks like he has a shrunken head in his hand there too, as well.
Let me say, I think Kanyon is one of the more underrated wrestlers as far as moves and innovation and all that. But man, he needed a fucking mask. No, I'm not saying he was ugly. I'm just saying it added another dimension to his character. Like when he was out there doing all these hot moves, and like, I just think that Mortis is greater than Kanyon.
Well, you know what? There's something to be said for that. And if we can go ahead and be bookers, and maybe our listeners would agree with this, maybe a masked Chris Kanyon would have been very good, but not as a masked man trying to be a member of Mortal Kombat.
No, I agree.
just something else. I mean, he had some great working punches right there. See that, man? That's and of course, again, it takes two, and Raven did a good job of selling that. But Canyon could do a lot of, and we found out. I mean, he fell off the Triple Tower of Doom or whatever cage it was that we had in Kansas City, and of course we've covered that in the archives. But Canyon had a lot of fire, a lot of vigor. He wasn't the greatest looking guy in the world, but neither are we.
No, I'm not shitting on Canyon. I'm just saying, I think that Mortis look was cool, and the mask was cool. And I mean, I'm not into sci-fi and all that shit. We've talked about that, but I'm just saying, I thought it was a cool look, and I just think it's better than him just being a badass wrestler named Canyon, I don't know. He just looks like everybody else now. He looks like he's Johnny Swinger's brother now. I mean, if it was Johnny Swinger and Scotty Riggs and Canyon here, they could have had a feud with 3 count, but you put a fucking mask on him and you give him all the gimmicks, and now he's got all these hot moves, and fuck, he's different. It's something else. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like what I think I talked about a little bit with the WWE in this era. They've got a lot of guys with stringy long hair and wear black tights. So I guess this look has kind of moved on into 2018 here, 20 years later, right?
By the way, Eric Bischoff, your boy, recently buried Raven on 83 Weeks.
Wow.
Said he couldn't really do a promo, blah, blah, blah. And I heard from a lot of, even current WWE superstars who were messaging me saying, hey, Bischoff's way fucking wrong. And my theory on this was just Bischoff was too old to get it. Well, my very best wrestling friend I ever had, a guy I went to school with named Clint, that we mock on Bruce Pritchard show all the time. And he says, Clint from Hershey, and he talks like this. That's not even how Clint really talks, but he just does it just to piss my buddy off. Anyway, cause that's who we are. Yeah. So my buddy Clint, like his favorite all-time wrestler in this era was Raven. 24/7, everything was Raven this, Raven that. And Bischoff just did not get it. And I know you've told us a little bit about your friendship with Scott Levy, the person, comic books and Swamp Things and shit like that. What did you think of the Raven character here for WCW?
I absolutely loved it. And maybe a part of that was because I liked Scotty so much, but I absolutely loved it because it was different. His promos were different. And I loved it. Now, Eric, I don't know. You think that, did you ask Eric if he and Scotty had heat?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Because that could be based on that too. Because if you run a company and you don't get along with the guy, you're not going to like anything about him, one would think. And that could be part of that. Well, watch out. Here's Perry Saturn. Laid it in. I loved everything. I enjoyed the flock, but not as much as I just enjoyed Raven being on his own. And the fans really responded here, man.
Yeah, Saturn was over here, man.
Yes, he was. Perry Saturn can do a lot of shit.
He's going through a tough time. I think he's got a GoFundMe. If you're a fan of Saturn's like we are, you should go out of your way to find that one. I feel like I should mention here too. I don't know that we've talked about this before. I'm just portraying all sorts of personal stuff. That's okay to do on this show, right?
Yeah, sure. That's what we're about.
Lodi is still really good friends with Charles Robinson all these years later.
Yeah, you know what? I as I'm broadcasting this, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm at the ballpark, and Charles Robinson and Lodi frequently come out to the ballpark together to see these. And Arn Anderson comes out here sometimes too to see the Knights play.
They're really good buds.
Yeah, so that's good to see.
Man.
Wow, man, how about that?
That was
gimmick the table, please.
Yeah, that's what's shitty. Is somebody was like, "Hey, just put a wooden table under there." They put a legit one, not one of those particle board ones, but like a legit one with steel reinforced. And Raven takes the big splash off the top rope from Saturn, and it doesn't break. Our friend Matthew from Botchamania is going to have some fun with that. Have you seen that before? So Matthew, you need to get familiarized with Botchamania because you're going to be doing that at Starcast with Ron Funches and Cassio, and Matthew's making a custom one. And one of the deals is whenever something like that happens, they play like a Metallica riff where it yells, "I am the table," because the table just will not fucking break.
Now outside, the limousine is pulled up here.
Look at this shit.
Oh my God, it's Judy Bagwell.
Judy lets herself out, doesn't wait on a limo driver to open the door for her. The limo driver goes and gets a wheelchair, and Judy's going to help Buff stand up and seat him down into the wheelchair here. And this is where Judy Bagwell became a star.
Well, yeah, she did later on when Vince Russo, of course, became Booker. But right here is her first appearance on TV. So this is kind of a big moment as Judy Bagwell, of course. And there's some of Atlanta's finest. Some of those Atlanta policemen have been security in wrestling forever. I've known those guys for a long time. And of course, Buff, just very slowly walks in. This is coming off a legit injury that Buff had.
On Thunder, of course, Rick Steiner goes to the top rope, goes to bring down a bulldog, and instead of his head riding all the way down, Buff's head slips out. And when Buff falls, his head hits the back of Rick Steiner, and it caused a serious stinger of sorts where he lost the ability to move arms, legs, any of that. It was a scary deal. I remember, people were talking about it at my high school the next day in a big way. Like, Buff might not be able to walk. And so they're obviously playing off of that here, which some people would say is sort of shitty, but I say, hey, it's wrestling, and let's blur the lines of reality, right?
Well, you know what? Yeah. But if he's doing okay, we got to let people know. And there's more of an impact if he comes out and talks himself than to have us just say, hey, by the way, an update on Buff Bagwell, he's okay. So I don't think there's anything wrong because it was a legit injury. And we portrayed it as such. We shut down the show. Remember that night, how long it took to get him out?
Oh, forever. By the way, how Roll Tide are these Nitro girls?
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. I loved Spice too. And if there's Fire on the left, there's Che in front. And Larry Zbyszko was really fond of the blonde on the left there too.
Well, how could you not be?
Yeah, they were all good kids. And we had a lot of fun in the chair as well, if you know what I mean. In the makeup chair. A lot of fun back there.
What all were you doing in there?
Well, I would just kind of, after I've done, and it's time to check in on a Nitro party. Did you ever go to a Nitro party?
No.
Never did.
I do think we need to throw one though for all of our Patreon members.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think one of our things that we do is have a Nitro party. We talked about doing get-togethers in like Atlanta or Nashville, and that's definitely going to happen. But I think we should make it like a Nitro party. Maybe we could even sneak Mean Gene in. We'll tell him there's vodka. He'll come.
Well, we'd have to go to the nursing home and make sure he can get out for the day.
Here's what we could do. We could watch some of Mike Tenay's porn.
Do what?
We could watch some of Mike Tenay's porn.
No, why would you say something like that? What does he have? He has a big porn collection?
No. He's a former porn star. We've talked about this before.
Mike Tenay is?
Yeah. He's the original low-key big hog. No, that's real. We talked about
that's not real.
Dude, it is.
Then why did he get into wrestling? If you're a low-key big hog and you're into porn, you probably can make some money. What the hell?
Dude, I'm on Ambient Exotica right now reading about him. You think I'm making this up?
Yes, I do.
Miami-based Mike Tenay is no man who thinks twice about proclamations or the use of right words.
Okay, stop. He's not Miami-based. Got the wrong Mike Tenay.
It's a picture of our Miami. This is him. Like I'm looking at it.
All right. When this show is over, I'm gonna have to check it out myself.
No,
I am speechless here.
I'm gonna send you the email. I'm gonna send you the link right now.
All right. I'm absolutely speechless. But right now, I guess maybe he's talking about how he and Ron Jeremy were buddies back in the day.
Dude, he's the man.
Yeah. And here we go. It's the big truck. This is Carl Malone on June 29th, and he and Diamond Dallas Page, and of course they get all the they get all the crowbars, and then the truck comes in, and then they all run like scatter like ants. Never did understand the concept of the big truck. Maybe I've lost something here. I just never did understand it.
All right, let me tell you the concept. You ready?
Thank you.
Eric Bischoff has free reign of WCW finances. Karl Malone wanted an 18-wheeler.
There you go.
No, I'm just freestyling. I just made that up. That didn't really happen. By the way, though, I you got your computer in front of you.
Yeah.
Throw it in. Instead of at Mike Tenay on Twitter, it's at Teichmanay. Tikemenay. And he right there pronounces himself as the king of hot sex.
Yeah. And you also had me go to Cowboys and Princesses or whatever that fucking site is.
Cowboys
and put me on.
Don't you get on here and disparage the good damn name of cowboysforangels.com.
Cowboys for Angels. Okay.
Look, I'm telling you, this is a real site, and it was done years ago before we ever even had a podcast. Like, I'm looking at tweets from old Mike Tenay from 2014. That's before us, man.
That is such bullshit. All right, here's Karl Malone. Now, you think he's got a small head?
Well, I'm just saying, relative to the rest of his body.
Yeah.
I guess
got a gigantic wingspan. I mean, my goodness.
That's what I mean. Like,
look how long that reach is. Holy shit.
His head should be bigger. I guess I'm used to guys who are on the gas and their head's bigger.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Big around as a pumpkin. But he holds out that big wingspan. He was such a big wrestling fan. My God.
One of the great guys in sports.
Yes. There's no question about it. And I have not seen or heard of him since we went down. Of course, there's a lot of people.
Well, he's not playing minor league baseball in Charlotte, so you wouldn't know him.
Thank you very much. All right. Now we're going to bring in the men who are coming in here right now. I want to bring in my friend, the leader of DDP Yoga and one of the great NBA stars of all time, Diamond Dallas Page, and the mailman, Karl Malone. How you feeling? You okay? You got a cough? You doing all right over there? Okay.
I got summer cold, strep throat, the whole deal.
Yeah.
But I powered through, knocked out the WWE TV show. You and Eric Bischoff, same day.
Wow.
No
3 in one day?
Yeah. Well, that's my new routine. I do them on Sundays.
Wow. Holy snikamolies.
Oh, you know what? I thought about you on Friday night. I think you'd like this. Clarence Carter came to Huntsville.
Really?
Tell me you know anything about Clarence Carter.
Yeah. My papa was a great old man.
Oh, look at you knowing some patches. Well, you know, as you can imagine, the song I remember or I thought of you for was
Stroking.
There you go. Give everybody. So we got a lot of younger listeners who may not be familiar with Clarence Carter.
Yeah.
You want to sing them a little bit of Stroking?
Stroking to the left. I'm stroking to the right. I'm stroking. That's all I remember. I love the song though.
How great is that?
All right, but Paige, I want to ask you a few. Don't lean on me, Karl. I want to ask you a few questions about this DDP Yoga. Is it true that Tony Schiavone has lost a lot of weight on DDP Yoga? Well, first of all, hello, Atlanta. Going to get a cheap pop. Woo! All right. And there you can see the fans, diamond cutting signs, put the diamond in the air. But I just do want to say that, yes, Schiavone has been on DDP Yoga since the middle of May. The middle of fucking May. And he has lost 25 pounds. Now, I also want to let you know that according to Dr. Oz, it's probably been talked about on this show. That's right. Dr. Oz, who is the doctor of Oprah Winfrey, that for every 30 pounds that you lose, you gain an inch on your penis. That is a fact. So Schiavone's got another 5 pounds to lose, then maybe for the first time since 2007, and I'm talking about 11 years, he will see it. So there, you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. If he loses another 30 pounds, which would be 60 pounds, it would get another inch. And if he goes down to 90 pounds, it would be another inch, which will be 3 inches, which is more than he has ever had in his life. So maybe we're going to add to it. You're welcome, TS. And the fact is that Diamond Dallas DDP Yoga can work for you. Make it your own. Work at your pace. Also, you got a diet, but make sure that you do the work that I have set out. 10 years in the future now, Tony Schiavone will cease to be a fat ass that he is, and just maybe, he and Lois will again slip in the covers together. Don't know if that's true, Mailman. What do you think? Well, the only thing I got to say is I've never had trouble with seeing my penis. As a matter of fact, I saw my penis the other day, and I saw it down between my knees. That's funny. That's funny, Carl. That's very funny. Well, let me talk a little bit about Rodzilla. Speaking of large penises. Wait a minute. We want to talk about Bash at the Beach, man. Okay, Bash at the Beach. I thought we were talking about penis sizes. Bash at the Beach. If I knew which camera to look at, I would say something about it. The fact is that DDP Yoga can work for you. All right. It won't make me any younger, but DDP Yoga will help you lose weight. And we'll have more Nitro after this timeout. And they would go through the stands, and then there you see the security will say, oh, shit, we got to chase after him. And I'm not so sure that they ever even told security they were going through the stands. So that interview sounded maybe something like that.
All righty.
I don't know. Okay, boy, we are milking this, aren't we? Go to break. Or go somewhere. Oh, boy.
Let me tell you one thing. I'm out here to talk about my 4 ex-wives. Not really. I'm going to talk about the first one. I'm going to talk about Deborah McMichael. You see, Deborah McMichael was my wife first, but now she's with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And a lot of people would say, well, that's to start a feud. And I say, nay, it's more cocaine for me. You see, Deborah McMichael was on scholarship. Do you understand what that means? It means she's got no amenable skills. Now, she says she's going back to college, but here we are in 1998. That bitch ain't sniffing college. You hear me? The only thing she wants to go to school for is to learn how to marry professional wrestlers. She's already got that down pat. She started with me. Now she's on to Stone Cold. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't need no scholarship. You see what I'm talking about? This is my Super Bowl ring because I was one of the baddest dudes of all time for the Chicago Bears. And now that I'm with Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen, I don't need it. That's right. He doesn't need it. You know, he doesn't need the Deborah McMichael with the big boobs and the whatnot. And all he needs to do is run a 4-3 defense. And then the Bears, they're going to have a shot at the thing. But in reality, if he'd have played basketball, he'd have done better than Michael Jordan because, I mean, everybody who played for the Bears is better than the Bulls. I don't understand why everybody in this show, for instance, is talking about basketball and Dennis Rodman and whatnot. It's all about the Bears. You see, the Bears are what put Chicago on the map. And then this Michael Jordan, he comes in and tries to steal my hype. If Michael Jordan hadn't come along, I'd still be king of Chicago. Like I was saying about Deborah now. Deborah doesn't understand. She needs me. I don't need her. Joke's on Stone Cold. Let him get him some of Deborah. Because when I'm done with her, there ain't nothing to get. That's right. I saw him get all he could get in the locker room back in the day. And she was always talking about going to Chicago. No, I ain't talking about going to Chicago. I'm done with Deborah. You understand? I don't need Deborah. I don't need Ric Flair. I don't need this business. All I need is a pocket full of money and my rails, 4 of them, and then I'm out of here. 4 rails, and I can run through anybody. Not just on the football field, but in the wrestling ring. Not because you need to go to wrestling school. All you need is 4 lines of cocaine.
I remember that going down just pretty much like that, to be honest with you.
Which part?
The whole part.
That Mongo didn't go to wrestling school, did 4 lines of cocaine and became a professional wrestler?
Sounded somewhat like that.
Look at this fucking jack off right here.
Oh my God. Can you believe this is the same guy that we talked about, just 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks
or
ago,
last week?
He was out here looking like Jimmy Superfly Snuka from 11 years prior to this. Now he's back and he looks like a Chris Angel wannabe.
Yeah. Or he looks like, one of the guys from Diary of a Vampire. Jesus criminy.
By the way, I feel like we should mention Deborah McMichael does actually go back to school and get her degree. And I think she did it last year from the University of Alabama. So roll tide on that.
She's got her master's from University of Alabama.
Isn't that a big deal? I feel like
in
that's
criminal
a big deal.
in criminal justice. Absolutely.
Well,
You gotta bust your ass and study to get a master's in criminal justice. I can tell you that.
well, she probably already had a master's being married to Mongo and Steve Austin.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And the fact is that master's in criminal justice, the next thing would be a lawyer.
Oh,
I think.
Then she could sue us for the things we're saying on this show, in which case we need to apologize and say, this is all parody and in good jest.
Yeah, this is all parody, but you need to apologize because I've said nothing but great things about her.
What did I say to her? What did I say mean?
Okay,
I didn't
with
say
nothing.
anything. No. Come on.
Just trying to call some shit.
By the way, who's your favorite of the two here? Scotty Riggs or Putski?
Oh, well, it's Scotty Riggs.
Of course.
Even we talked about Ivan Putski and even Larry Zbyszko had some great lines in this one saying that he said, I'm Polish and Polish people are known for weightlifting and bowling. And he even said that Putski had the Polish falcon on the side of his tights there. I guess that's a Polish falcon. I don't know. So there, Scotty Riggs. And you know what? And here's the fucking shockers. Scotty Riggs going to lose this match.
What's shocking to me is the transformation that Scotty Riggs made. A couple of years prior to this, he's walking out here and clapping his hands over his head like a fucking jack off singing American Males. And now he's out here looking like a bootleg pirate. I mean, this is quite the transformation. And by the way, I like the pirate. I've always thought that the eye patch gimmick in wrestling could have gotten over. I like the Kurt Russell Escape from New York or Escape from LA or whatever the shit eye patch look. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like that too. And I mentioned that Igor had put it on, got burned in the eye. Scotty Riggs was a very underrated performer. But what's this about? We bring in Scott Putski in 1988. And now here 10 years later, we bring him in again and he's going to go over both times and then he's never going to be seen from again. Explain that one to me. I guess maybe that is a nod to his father, respect out of his dad. I don't know. I just don't
he had a low key big hog and was taking care of somebody in the back.
That could have been, that was always assumed that if you had a low key big hog, you could take care of a lot of people in the back.
Which explains why you were there for 20 something years.
No, it doesn't. It has no explanation. It has no determination on me being there for the years that I was there.
Can we just talk about some of the absurdities of wrestling for a minute?
Yes, we can.
So let's look at Scotty Riggs, who we know is a listener to the show, which is why we're putting him over. Because if he wasn't, we'd be shitting on him too.
Right. And if you don't listen to the show or if you're dead, we will shit on you. But go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Scotty Riggs shorts here.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is his work gear. Like this is what he wears to work. And so obviously it has to fit his character. But in my head, there had to be a moment where he goes to the store and it's like, okay, let me figure out what I want my character to look like. All right, they're going to wear jeans. Let me find some black jeans. And then he comes back either in the back or in his hotel room or at his house. And he's fucking with these shorts to make them look like shitty pirate shorts. And he has to, through this process, try a few different versions. And, then eventually he gets to this and he's like, fucking perfect. This is it. I'm just fascinated by, like, this is what these guys do for a living.
Well,
so like he needs combat boots and he needs wrist tape. He needs an eye patch, knee pads. And then we got to run down to the Walmart and get some jeans and cut them up.
Can't you buy jeans like that now?
Yeah, but I don't know that you could in 1998 where it was like shorts like this.
What the fuck is Putski doing here?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, Jesus criminy. There's a jaw. Well, there's two things about that. And I understand about the absurdity of it all. Some guys would do that, and some guys would have a female help them out.
Oh, no, I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying still there was a conversation about, oh, yeah, those are perfect.
Yeah.
And so, like, and what made me think about this is when you're talking about the Polish Falcon or whatever the fuck on Putski's shorts.
Right.
He had to, like, tell some lady what he wanted that to look like.
Yeah.
And then they bring it to him and he's like, this is awesome. Thank you. Here's $800. And so, like, I think that's the best part of the deal. Like these costume makers, we don't ever really talk about, but like Scotty Riggs just DIY'd it, which is hilarious and absurd. But this is too, like, this guy had to pay someone hundreds of dollars to take some velvet and iron on a falcon on the side or something. It's hilarious.
Yeah. And now the Snickers replay. Remember that with Snickers, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Or I was going to say, not going anywhere for a while. Scott Putski, going nowhere ever. Brought to you by Snickers.
Packed with peanuts. Unlike this match, it really satisfies. Snickers done a good job through the years, man, of promoting their product. They really have.
By the way, you want to guess how old Scott Putski is right now?
He's got to be in his late 40s.
52.
Whoa, really?
Yep. Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
He came back to wrestling in 2013.
Did he really?
Yep.
Oh, I might as well headbutt this fucking locker. It's not even locker. Actually, it's a power. It's where they hold the power. Okay, now, here's to me what tips off the whole night. We're going to show Goldberg's first win against Hugh Morris. Remember that's the night we didn't know who the fuck he was. And they reacted very well on his first ever jackhammer. We're going to show his 50th win, I think, maybe his 75th win, and his 100th win. You don't think he's going to now go over here? I think he just tipped it.
No, I don't think that dips it to me. I think you're trying to establish credibility.
Okay.
Because he's been squashing mid-card guys, you know?
Right. Yeah. Okay. I agree. And you're looking at it a different perspective than I am. I'm looking at it from somebody who's in the business, trying to think, are we doing the right thing or not? But anyway, so
I look at everything like, how would I explain this to my dad?
Right.
And so, like, my dad would say, wait a minute, Hulk Hogan's wrestling who now? We could sort of explain it. Scott Hall gets out, takes of the limo, takes a swig of his cocktail, finishes it off, hugs all the way around.
And there he is, part of this group, fucking Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones? What's his number?
281-330-8004.
See, I get it now. Weeks ago, I didn't. But I can't believe that. Anyway, remember, it's NWO black and white now. And there's NWO red, the Wolfpack as well now. So we've got two factions. And this is going to be, oh my God, Chris Jericho again.
I love Jericho in 1998. Jericho 98, just like Booker T, my favorite, but by a mile here.
Really?
Oh, I think Jericho in 98 is top 5.
Well, I've seen a lot of Jericho since then, especially I've seen a lot of Jericho when he won the unified title in the WWE. And I kind of like that too. And I also like the Jericho that we're seeing now. The Jericho that had a match with Kenny Omega in the Tokyo Dome.
What the fuck are you saying? How do you know all this?
I watched it.
I can't believe it. Did you watch his win against Naito the other day?
No, I did not.
Man, he debuted a new look there. You got to check that out.
Okay, I am.
Oh, by the way, he had me on his podcast a while back to sort of refute some things that Eric talked about on 83 Weeks.
Yeah.
And now he listens every week. And
to you and Eric?
Yeah. And so, last week I had a shouting match with Eric Bischoff. Have you heard about this?
Oh my God. You had whoa, stop the tape. Not really. You had a shouting match with Eric Bischoff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a real life one.
Okay. And what was this about?
Well, he's full of shit. He's a liar, or he just doesn't remember things. Either way, I was frustrated with his bullshit. So I started yelling at him, and then he started yelling back, and then we're just yelling at each other for 10 minutes. And when Jericho heard it on the plane this past week, he sent me a text and said, dude, you're going to have a fucking aneurysm next week on the show. Because it's, you and I have fun on this show. It is not fun with Eric. I got to
Wow. Well, everybody has a different personality, I try to get along with everybody. Obviously, that's one of the reasons my marriage has lasted so long, that I've tried to get along with that woman. Here, a great angle coming up. And this is the angle with Dean Malenko and Chris Jericho. And right now, you see JJ showing Jericho how short Rich Bocchini is with that hand down there. And here comes Dean Malenko. And, of course, now they both have been told that if they touch, then you are going to be disqualified from the match at Bash at the Beach for the Cruiserweight Championship. And this is Jericho at his absolute best right here. When he says things to Malenko about his dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he talks to Dean Malenko about how short he is.
Well, my favorite is when he's like, what if I was to say, your mother wears army boots?
Yeah. Which is, okay, you can get over that. But then he ratcheted it up by saying that he and his brother didn't look alike. And his dad was on the road all the time. And that's why you and your brother do not look anything alike. Why? And then that, of course, started Malenko. And Malenko did just a phenomenal job here. This is Jericho at his best here. Not only that, this is Malenko with great reactions in the face, doing a great. Craig Leathers, congratulations, buddy. It's almost as if you're not really directing, but zooming in on the eyes there to get the emotion of this. And then, of course, JJ has to get involved in it as well. And they both stayed awake for it, which is even, look at that. Look at him blowing kisses at him, man. Good shit. Absolutely good stuff. And it, of course, was leading to an angle between he and Malenko, and they had some great matches as well, as we know. So I'm glad Chris Jericho listens to you, and I'm sorry Eric Bischoff is lying to you on his podcast. Lying motherfucker. But do you and Bruce get mad at each other too?
Yeah, we yell at each other every week as well.
Well,
I get along better with you than anybody.
Well, how about that? We've never yelled at each other yet, have we?
No.
There's nothing to yell at.
No,
there's nothing to yell about.
But Bischoff in particular takes himself very, very seriously.
Well, yeah. Absolutely takes himself seriously. Yeah, he always had the kind of the old tight asshole,
Whereas yours is more loose and worn out.
Well, one would think.
Who would have thought years later that two of the three guys in the ring right here have podcasts?
Isn't it something? Jesus Christ. Look at this. And now they can't pull him off. Just going nuts. Here comes Doug Dellinger and his Charlotte-based security, former Charlotte police officers, pulling him off. Good pull apart here. Very, very good, because Malenko's going to come back in a little bit later on. And look at Jericho. God, he was a great heel, boys.
The best. It's worth mentioning here. The gimmick was if they touched, then the match was thrown out.
Right.
Bash at the Beach. They had gone too far and done too much. And of course, Malenko couldn't contain himself after the insinuation that his mother was a whore.
Let me ask you this, and you probably know this, and I should know it, but I don't. Did that match really happen at Bash at the Beach, or did they end up really having the match after that?
You were there and called it, right?
God, it was San Diego. I don't remember even getting to the town that day. Oh, Jesus, criminy Jesus. I can't remember everything. Okay.
Let me ask
I'm
you
old.
this. What happened over the last week where you say criminy all the time?
Do I say criminy a lot?
Yeah, you do. And by the way, no, the match wound up being Rey Mysterio, he was returning, if you recall, because he had a knee injury and Jericho put him out. So since Malenko couldn't be there because he had been disqualified, they had a no DQ match where Rey Mysterio took his spot and he beat Jericho for the cruiserweight.
Oh, I do remember that now. I do remember that. Okay. Thank you for getting my memory back on that. Unfortunately, we are in this match and many of the other matches going forward, because we just found out, because when Scott Hall goes out of the limousine, that Scott Hall is going to be the man to wrestle Hogan. We are now in mode of ignoring matches and promoting Goldberg having to wrestle twice. So unfortunately, we are not giving matches their due here. And not only that, you're going to find out here, they're going to go to break during an angle here a little bit later on. Going back and looking at this, there were one too many matches on this card, because the matches were very, very short as we went along, wanting to give Hogan and Goldberg and Goldberg and Scott Hall there plenty of time. It just made it for a show that was rushed through. And I think a show that ran over too, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. And we even mentioned that, it's a policy of TNT here that we will stay with the match regardless. Yeah, right. Unless we try to show it during commercial breaks of a fucked up movie. Ultimo Dragon out of here. And again, the end of this match is going to have Malenko come back out, and Malenko showing a lot of fire. You ever spend much time with Dean Malenko?
No, I've met him before, but no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I have not.
Hilarious guy. I mean, really a hilarious guy that you wouldn't, and I brought this up before, you wouldn't know that from his on-camera persona and his wrestling persona, but he really, really is.
I mean, we're talking over a great match here, as you said.
Yes, we are.
I mean, two of my all-time favorites, Ultimate Dragon, and then there he is, Dean Malenko, ready to get some more of that Chris Jericho ass meat.
Yes, sir, buddy. Look at this, pounding away. And now they're going to try to come out and pull him off. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to arrest him. They're going to arrest him. And when I saw this angle, when I watched it recently, and when I saw it happen when we did it, I'm thinking, why don't they look? He was pulling hair out by the roots. By the roots, he was pulling hair out. My question is, why don't they arrest more guys in wrestling for doing run-ins? I don't get this. In the logic you try to portray in wrestling, if a guy's going to do a run-in and he gets arrested for doing a run-in, why don't they arrest every guy that does a run-in? So I never did understand that. I never did catch on to that. And that is going to send us to a commercial break on WCW Monday Nitro. And remember, there's the hair. Remember, fans, coming up is Goldberg and Hogan, and Goldberg and Scott Hall. If you don't know that by now, what the fuck are you doing? And now you're going to see Dean Malenko be handcuffed away.
They're going to put him in kitty jail.
In what jail?
Kitty jail.
Kitty jail?
Well, he's standing up and his head's on the apron right there. So they're probably going to just put him in timeout, make him put his nose in the corner.
Exactly, yeah. Sit in the corner for 15 minutes. Wear the dunce cap, maybe.
You think they're just going to take him in the back and have Hogan put him in a playpen?
Good. Oh, my God. It's a wonder people, it's a wonder more than Scott Steiner that want to kick our ass.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Because, we get along. We're nice guys. Now, I'm sure there are people out there who want to kick Bischoff's ass. But I don't think they want to kick our ass because we're just playful and fun, you and I.
No, we're assholes.
No, speak for yourself, motherfucker.
You just called me a motherfucker. Now you're going to say you're not an asshole? Yes, you are.
Okay. Patches, I'm depending on you, son. to pull the family through. You got to have a Nitro party at 1 CNN Center, P.O. Box 60, Atlanta, 30303. I'm depending on you, son.
You know, I do feel like we should play a little stroking with the audience because a lot of our listeners, they're not old enough to know Clarence Carter's stroking. And by the way, This is a song, I think, from like 1968. It's like the 50-year anniversary of that song, which is pretty crazy to think about the idea they got away with playing that.
Yeah, that's right. They got away playing it. And it's pretty crazy that, oh my God, Johnny Parisi Swinger.
So here's a great time to play the song then, because nobody gives a fuck, right?
Johnny did.
How would you describe his gear here?
Well, this was kind of a futuristic. Well, you know what? We had coats like this at that we got, silver coats that we got in Japan at the Tokyo Egg Dome. He took one of those silver coats and just cut the front off of it is what he did.
So here we go. Here's a little Clarence Carter stroking. If Klondike Bill were with us, this would be his theme music, would it not?
Oh, God. Klondike was more into oral sex, though, really.
Okay, I don't know what to say here.
Yeah. You know. I mean, how, you know, even JR brought this up. How in the world do you get syphilis of the eyes like Klondike Bill did if you don't like oral sex, right? I mean, he did. That's what he loved. That was his thing.
Well, by the way, we're talking over Chavo Guerrero in a hard hat and Johnny Swinger.
Right.
You're the most charismatic person in the business is in there right now. Charles Robinson.
Charles Robinson. Absolutely. It amazes me that Charles is, we give Charles such grief here on this podcast.
20 years later, still rolling.
Yeah, I know. And we say that because he's so old and he's still in great shape and he still looks great as well. Chavo is holding onto his head because apparently Eddie took a little chunk out of it and he had the scissors in, and now he's going to challenge his Uncle Eddie to a hair versus hair match. You know, he and Eddie had a pretty good little feud here, I thought.
Absolutely. Hey, here you go.
When she gets sassified.
Dude.
Okay, that's a good way to end this.
Can you believe that?
Oh my God.
I mean, it's Klondike Bill's theme song. And you know what's great too? Dude's 82 years old singing that song. And he's from Montgomery, Alabama. How about that?
Oh, God bless Clarence Carter. So did you go see Clarence perform? Did you?
Yeah, me and Cassio and Big Booty Judy and my person, we all went to see Clarence Carter on Friday, and then we did something your speed. We went to Nashville and saw Train and Hall & Oates.
Why would that be my speed?
Hall & Oates are real old. They're like your age too.
Okay. Train's not old.
No. Well, I mean, kinda. I mean, they had their first hit more than 20 years ago.
Right.
Speaking of hits, here's Chavo, and I think Chavo is maybe one of the most underrated. Me and Bruce sort of freestyled this on the other show. If Eddie Guerrero didn't exist, would Chavo have been a bigger star?
No question, he would have been a bigger star. He'd have been the heir apparent to the Guerrero family tree, so to speak. He would have been the man seen as the young man of the Guerreros, and that's why they put he and Eddie in what I thought was a very good angle. Very, very much underrated. And I saw Chavo recently, and I don't remember when recently was. Maybe it was last year. And he still looks very good, man.
Great shape. Great guy.
Yeah, great shape. Absolutely. All right, now here's When Blood Run Cold. Woo! And down goes Glacier. Where's the camera, Bill? Turn to the camera. Oh, this is brought to you by CompuServe. Soon to go out of business. Boy, I tell you, Goldberg looked the part, didn't he?
No, he definitely did. And he looks like a badass here.
Yeah.
And it's probably because he doesn't know how to wrestle and he is a real badass.
Yeah. You think if UFC and MMA would have been in vogue back then that he'd have been a good one?
No. I think he'd have tried. He'd have got the fuck beat out of him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and here's why. Like, he's a football player. I'm not shitting, but I'm saying, what other big time badass football players do you know who just ran roughshod in the UFC? None.
Yeah, you're right. So, meanwhile, coming out here is Podcast Killer, Podcast Killer, Podcast Killer. Yeah. Podcast Killer, Podcast Killer, Podcast Killer. Yeah.
By the way, I was watching this show earlier this week, and I told my person, I said, this would be my mom's favorite wrestler. And she said, fucking Disco Inferno? And what's great is she doesn't even normally cuss, and she just broke out the fucking Disco Inferno. And I'm like, yeah. Why? And I was like, well, that dancing move. I mean, same way old Barnett fell for Alex Wright here.
Yeah, with that thermos that Alex Wright had on him. Could it be any more obvious?
How about in the background, though? This is the best part of the whole deal to me.
Yeah.
Of course, you got two dancing assholes with Disco and Alex Wright, but what about
Tokyo Magnum?
Like, to me, this is the Matt Coon of wrestling right there. like, see, so there's like, our podcast, and then right in the back, there's Matt Coon. Like, look, I'm here too.
Yeah,
and everybody,
right.
And everybody just looks like, yeah, we were kind of doing our thing, and now you're here. No, I can do it too. No, it's not the same.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Well, when the Public Enemy will come out in the Braves jerseys on, and the Public Enemy did find the tables that were gimmicked here. I just thought I'd give you a little foreshadowing to this, that obviously they didn't find it earlier, but they found it here. And here comes.
By found it, you mean brought it to the fucking ring with them?
Well, yes.
By the way, is there anything more cheap pop than wearing the home team's jersey to the ring?
Yeah, I know.
And it's sort of mixed messaging because he's got a bandana around his face, almost like he's an old school Western style robber. And he's trying to pull a caper, but at the same time, he's got a bright yellow Braves jersey on. So
with a tomahawk.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, I think in real life, weren't they Philadelphia Philly fans? So how about that for some heat? And of course, if you notice, they have their initials spray painted on a PE, just so you know it's their tables in the back.
I like that though, because that way Because see, if they'd have done that with Saturn's earlier, they wouldn't have got the catering table instead. Somewhere in the back, Big Show's sitting down to eat some chocolate chip cookies, and the table's going to fucking collapse.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Saturn can't put Raven through the motherfucker.
All right. Tag team action. The Dancing Fools against the Public Enemy.
If you had to pick Public Enemy or Nasty Boys, who you got?
I got Nasty Boys.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, I know you have them because you dressed up as one of them for Halloween, but the fact is the Nasty Boys just, I don't know, Nasty Boys were kind of ahead of their time as that rough and tumble tag team that were rugged, that didn't look in shape, that didn't really look like wrestlers.
Let me ask you this. Sometimes in tag teams, one guy stands out above the others. You know, so like, unfortunately, when we talk about Harlem Heat, Booker T stands out. When we talk about the Rockers, Shawn Michaels stands out. When we talk about the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart stands out. Mm-hmm. When we talk about the Public Enemy, who stands out?
It's not Ted Petty here. It's Grunge.
Really? See, I'd go the other way. I would say it was Rocco Rock, but you got Johnny Grunge.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it from the Nasty Boy standpoint. Knobs or Sags?
It's Knobs.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you just like blonde-haired gentlemen. Can I say that?
I knew you would think that, but it just, to me, that Brian Knobs cut the biggest promo. They both cut promos, but Brian Knobs seemed to be the guy who, we always said Knobs and Sags, right?
Yeah.
We always said Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock. So that's why I remember them, because that was the name that we put first. We always said Ricky and Robert, Rock and Roll Express. So to me, the name that you put first would be kind of the leader of the team. I think that makes a lot of sense, damn it.
All right, man. So there you go. Tony Schiavone, mustache and all, he decided to put on the big britches and pretend to be Animal.
So we're going to play a clip here.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the Oh What a Rush podcast with Joe Roderick and Animal. We just mocked them last week on the show. We did a little, well, not mocked them, but we voiced their promo, and Animal's going to respond. Here we go.
Tony Schiavone with the molestache you had on there back in the day, trying to be freaking Tom Selleck. Let me tell you something, bro. We weren't two big goofs. Paul Aaron got paid very well for booking those flights, and that's just the way we handled our business. You know, it's always funny, Joe, to hear some guys behind a microphone try and act like big tough guys, and they ought to just stick to being mic guys, because that's what they're best at, being behind the scenes, not in the picture, behind the mic. You know.
Yeah, what about you should have called your brother and gotten a job from him, huh? What?
Yeah, right. Well, that's one thing, and I wasn't ever in this business. I wasn't ever a kiss ass, so I guess I don't have a job, and I won't ever get a job. Because I've always taken pride in being one of the boys, and not having to be an office guy.
Oh, we appreciate the rub from Tony and Conrad on their podcast.
Yeah, but I would watch it, Tony. I would watch it, bro. I could do some voice impersonations, if you know what I mean, in Orlando at the Happy Ending Massage that I heard at one time. So if you don't want me to let that cat out of the bag, brother, I'd keep it real quiet.
So you can listen to more of the What a Rush podcast with Joe Roderick and Road Warrior Animal anytime you'd like, anywhere you enjoy wrestling podcasts. But I can't just let that go.
Yeah, you can.
No.
Yeah, you can. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, so it's just all rumor and innuendo.
It's all bullshit because I don't know what he's talking about. It's not rumor. It's not innuendo. I don't know what he's talking about.
No, he said it, so therefore it is rumor. But
okay,
Pop would say a little tuggy.
Mm-hmm.
That's his phrasing.
A little tuggy.
So
okay.
I've heard the phrase "rubbing a tug" before.
Okay,
but he would say something like, why don't you just see if she'll give it a little tuggy?
Okay.
Did you ever have a little tuggy in Orlando?
No, I did not.
Well, these guys are going to need one. Here we go. Here's your finish. Rocco Rock up top, flipping down onto Tokyo Magnum, not on one table, but on two. I feel like,
wow.
I feel like they should yell like the order, like at Waffle House.
Yeah. Or
Kinshasa. Smattered, covered, and chunked on two. There are two tables right there. And I guess, we're not going to talk about, animal making the accusation that you got a little HJ action in Orlando?
No, I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't.
Okay.
But I mean, he's the road warrior animal's fucking nuts. He always was nuts.
I thought it was funny.
It's like when you said, we were just talking about. You would say hawk and animal, the road warriors. See, hawk first, animal second. Just kind of went in there. Or so you gonna pull this off and send that to them too?
I don't send anything to them.
Yeah, you know what? You're
Joe listens to the show.
Okay. The only thing I remember about my deal with Joe Laurinaitis was the fact that I went to his house after we worked a show at in Bloomington, Minnesota, and fell asleep in the tanning bed. That's the only I remember.
Did you?
No, I did not. I know where you're going with this.
What?
Okay.
Did I what?
You just say, did you get a tug there? I did not.
Oh my God. That is what I was going to say. No,
See, I got your number.
What I was going to
I
ask
got your number.
For real though. For real. How many times have you gotten a tanning bed in your life?
Probably about 3 or 4.
And one of those times was an animal's.
That animal's house. Yeah. Right.
Now, what did you wear to this tanning bed?
I guess I wore my whitey tighties. I don't know.
You call them whitey tighties, not tighty whities?
No, whitey tighties.
Wow. Speaking of whitey tighties, here's Buff Daddy with his fucking mom, Buff
Yes.
Bagwell. Now, of course, we've talked a lot about him on the show, but there's rumor and innuendo that we might be seeing him sometime soon. Do we want to keep this shit talk going, or do you want to ratchet it back for fear of your own life?
I don't know if I want to ratchet. What do you mean fear of my own life? What do you mean? Like, you think Gene would say, Buff, I just want to let you know that and Judy, it's so good to see you. There has been rumor and innuendo that was perpetrated by Conrad Thompson, not Tony Schiavone, Conrad Thompson. And I need to say, Buff, I want to ask in front of millions of fans here watching, and just to make sure that everybody knows, has your bag been shaved this morning? I'm going to say it again. Has your bag been shaved this morning? Gene, I just want to say this. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do this?
Yes, I want you to do it.
Gee, I want to tell you in front of all these people right here, right now, that I love this lady behind me, but not nearly as much as I love all of you. Now, unfortunately, only one person can shave my bag. And I decided as a small child, when I decided to start shaving my bag, that this was too great of an experience to be so selfish to keep it for myself, Gene. So I decided to share the gift of my bag.
Well, JJ's got a big bag. Do you think she would shave his?
No, I don't. All right. Now, I don't even know what you're going to. I'm just saying I knew that I could not keep all this excitement for myself. I needed to spread that around. And who better to share it with than my own mother, Judy Bagwell. Now, fortunately for you, a lot of the times I've got to be on the road and you fans get to see me and you walk out and you try to slap 5 with me on my way to the ring. And I'm out there looking for people just like that guy holding that sign, trying to recruit people to shave my bag. There's a lady, we miss you, Buff. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you miss shaving my bag. But my mama's with me tonight, so I don't need any help shaving my bag. But the next time I'm in Valdosta, my mama won't be with me. And I'm going to need to find a girl. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, I know. And she's going to use a razor, a Mach 3, and get my bag high and low. You see, what you do is you pull them tight. You got to pull them tight, Gene. And then you can slowly drag that razor down, but you don't go against the grain. You don't go against the grain, because if you do, you'll wind up in a wheelchair, just like me right here, right now. And Gene, I'm happy to announce in front of God and everybody that I'm not ashamed that the rumors you've heard Kevin Nash and others perpetuate about me having my bag shaved by my mom are actually true.
Can she use an electric razor if need be, if there's no lather available, like no Gillette Foamy or anything like that? I just wanted to make sure that this is something that you could use a Remington on when you shave your bag.
Gene, the girls over at cowboysforangels.com, because that's all that goes there is girls. I want to be clear about that. It's just girls like this girl right here. You see, my mom found me an opportunity after wrestling at cowboysforangels.com. She said, Buff, you're the stuff, and we need to share that stuff everywhere. Now, if I get you on this cowboysforangels.com, those girls don't want no Remington stubble balls. They want them smooth as a baby's ass balls. And that's what we're going to get you in business for.
Well, Buff, I just want to say from all of us, we are really very glad that you're back and that you're completely shaven clean.
Absolutely, Gene. And we thank you so much. All the support of these fans out here supporting Buff's coin purse have really, really set me up. And I'd like to encourage everybody to go over to prowrestlingtees.com right now and pick up Buff's coin purse t-shirts, available now.
All right. Very good. And that's Buff Bagwell. And Judy, it's great to see you here as well. And before we leave,
one more thing, Gene, I need to tell everybody about my new show, Gigolos, on Showtime. I'm not actually a man whore. My mom doesn't actually shave my balls, or does she? Find out this Sunday at Showtime.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. And Judy Bagwell, let me give you my phone number before I leave. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Buff Bagwell here on WCW Monday Nitro. Can I throw a line out here that you usually throw out?
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
No, it's all stupid. By the way, here's the thing too. We're trying to get over Goldberg's a real threat to Hulk Hogan, right?
Right.
Guys, Goldberg's going to destroy Hulk Hogan. Have you seen? He beat Hugh Morris. He beat Glacier. He beat Rick Fuller. Who the fuck is Hulk Hogan?
Well, we're just getting over the fact that he has this winning streak and getting over the fact that, my God, the fans buy it. Look at that. The fans bought that regardless who he fought. I thought he was a badass, man. And I really think that if he was of age today, he could compete in UFC.
No, just because he wore the gloves doesn't mean he's a badass. Great guy.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
All right.
I'm sure he's a super nice guy, does a lot for charity. Everybody who knows him says he's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
So,
one of my favorites.
Maybe Bret Hart disagrees since he kicked his fucking head off.
Well, you know what? I mean, until just now, Animal was one of my favorites too. So you never know.
Are you done with Animal now? You're mad?
No, I'm not mad. I think he's funny. I always did love Joe.
Listen, if you just no sell the HJ, nobody will know it's for true. You know?
Right.
So just no sell the HJ. Actually, we should make that a shirt.
No sell the HJ.
No sell the HJ would be a great shirt, but I did not, underline not, get an HJ in Orlando.
I did not. All right. Now we want to make sure that look how much higher my chair is than yours, Bobby Heenan, you stupid son of a bitch. Let me say this. I'm glad you're out here. Just want to make sure that people notice what's going on. To my right is Mike Tenay, the Professor Mike Tenay. To my left is Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bobby, of course, will talk shit about me in the backstage area coming up a little bit later on, and then the shit on me on his book. That's right, Schiavone. I'll shit on you on your book, on my book, and I'll shit on everybody else on my book because that's the way it is. I had more heat in the back than you think I really did, but the fact is I'm here tonight because I do not like Hulk Hogan. And you know what? That's a shoot. I never did really like Hulk Hogan. I hated Hulk Hogan. All right, he hates Hulk Hogan. We got it. We understand. Hulk Hogan beat Andre the Giant in WrestleMania 3, and Bobby cried on the way back. Well, the fact is here that I do want to say something to Conrad motherfucking Thompson. I'm not a porn star. I have never been a porn star. You're perpetrating a fucking lie about me. You even go so far as play a Clarence, what was his name again? Clarence Clemens song, stroking to the left and stroking to the right on this show, trying to make you think that I'm a porn star. That's right. I heard you were not a porn star, but I also heard Schiavone lies. Well, I'm not the only one who lies on this program. Road Warrior Animal lies on this program as well. And let's go to the ring. Mike Tenay, a porn star.
Dude, did you click the links yet?
No, I'm not clicking those links.
Dude, it's a real thing.
I'll click the links afterwards.
We're doing a show now. Do you understand how that works?
Okay. Well, and then so you want me to click the links now, right? Okay.
I was thinking it would be funny. By the way, if you haven't Googled Tony Schiavone lately, you want to know what the number 2 suggestion is?
What?
Number 1 is Tony Schiavone podcast. Number 2, Tony Schiavone wife. Lois.
There you go.
Lois is over, man.
Yeah, I know she is.
You know what's interesting about me though? I just Googled myself.
Yeah.
Number 1. You want to guess what it is?
Shit disturber.
Conrad Thompson wife. Podcast is like 7.
Okay.
How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah, well, you're married into the first family, buddy. That's you. You got to deal with the decisions you make in life. I've dealt with the decision I made in life 37 years ago. So you deal with yours, buddy. All right, here comes Scott Hall. Scott Hall, great performer. And I'm going to go back to saying this again, not shitting on Hulk Hogan here at all, but I thought this was a better match than the Hulk Hogan.
Let me just tell you, that's wrong.
Really?
Goldberg is so exposed in this match with Scott Hall to me. Don't get me wrong, Scott's doing the best he can.
Yeah.
It's funny when you watch this stuff all these years later. Of course, at the time, I remember I was in Panama City with my family on vacation, and I was not going to miss this. Everybody's wanting to go do this thing or that thing. Dad probably wanted to get an airbrush shirt that said Roll Tide on it, or I Love Coors Light or something like that. But instead, I'm like, no, we got to be home. I want to watch this. And so I'm back at the condo watching this on like a tiny fucking 32-inch TV or something. And I just remember thinking Goldberg was the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And now 20 years later, I watch this and I have such an appreciation for what Hogan and Scott Hall had to do here, because this is a guy who has really not been properly trained and doesn't have a ton of experience and has never worked a long match and has never been in this spot before. And instead of working this shit out on a house show, they're doing it in front of the biggest possible live audience, both in the arena and on television. And you've got to try to find a way to sort of teach the guy the wrestling business. I'm not saying that to diminish. I'm just saying this guy's 9 months into his run and all he's been doing is 2-minute matches. And now he's got to have 2 in one night. And he's not just, you're not just trying to make him look good. You're trying to make him look like the top guy in the whole business. It's a tall ask.
Yes, it is. And it's something that you're right, that Hogan and Scott Hall both pull off. There's going to be a spot in this match that you're going to see that they completely fuck it up.
Shooting the ropes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful.
And it's awful. And you can see the reaction from Scott Hall that Goldberg gets frustrated and gets mad. And I think he taters him out of it.
And Scott Hall does not know exactly. I mean, how do you handle that? I mean, let's run through this too. Scott Hall is known for being a guy you can put anybody in there with and he can have a good match. That was not Hulk Hogan's reputation. If you were going to get a good match out of Hulk Hogan, he had to have a dance partner. Scott Hall is one of those guys who really could have a good match with Billy Silverman.
Right.
But this is a tall ask even for Goldberg here. So go back and watch this show, even for just these 2 matches. The first one with Scott Hall. And by the way, what a huge pop that was. I watched it this week, of course, with real sound. And when they just did a little test of strength lockup and he throws Scott Hall down, the crowd pops huge for nothing. That tells you just how over Goldberg is here.
Right. Scott Hall could, and I go back to this by saying Scott Hall, to me, had the best working punch in the business, and could do a lot of great things. And see, he had a lot of good, I mean, he came across as this arrogant prick, even when he was laying him in. The way he is, and there is so much, and I don't even know if it's in today's wrestling, and I don't watch enough of it to know. I do watch highlights, but I don't watch the shows. The facial expressions of wrestlers, I think I brought this up before. And of course, again, Animal, I never was in the ring, so I don't know. But the facial expressions of wrestlers, while they're putting a hold on, makes the hold look worse than it really is, or better than it really is. Because, you grind a guy's arm and you just grit your teeth together and you make it look even more. There you go.
So fucked up there.
Yeah.
Tries to reverse the Irish whipping on the ropes. They just collide, and then he half chokes him when he's down. The whole thing is made to be a situation where it's not a traditional wrestling match. It's Goldberg trying to just sort of grandstand and be like, you can't do anything to me. Yeah. And it's almost like a fight in a schoolyard or something where one guy's just like, you can't do anything to me. And even the body slam here, it's the same thing. It's just silly grandstanding. But every time Goldberg picks him up or does anything with him at all physically, you get the impression he doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's not really understanding how to take care of anybody because there's just a lot of force, even that power slam there.
Right. Now, when they did a little, slap back and forth after the missed spot, Goldberg really slapped him. And that's why you could see the face of Scott Hall say, come on, guys, we're working. But you could just see his demeanor and his facial expression change. But he's taking good bumps for him.
Oh, he's doing everything he can. I mean,
right.
To me, it was never more evident. And I sort of freestyled on this show with you before, but it was never more evident than when I watched this back this week. Goldberg was WCW's Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, he's over, and that's what matters. You're trying to put butts in seats and sell merchandise and blah, blah, blah. But he has short matches. He has a couple of moves. He has a cool entrance. The crowd pops for it. But he's really just this jacked up dude who doesn't really know how to put together a match. And I'm not disparaging him. I mean, he served his role better than anybody could have. I mean, this worked with Goldberg where it wouldn't worked with a lot of other people. I really do believe that. But I mean, the selling and just everything. This is the Ultimate Warrior.
Right. But more than that, I thought, maybe I'm wrong. I still thought he could do a lot more in the ring than the Ultimate Warrior could. And it was still limited.
Man,
Scott Hall's
ragdolling for him, doing anything he needs.
Yep, he is.
It's crazy too, because you think about, at this point, Scott Hall had such a reputation in the business for being such a great performer, a great promo. Obviously he had his troubles here and there outside of the ring, but amongst his peers, the ultimate respect as a performer, and amongst the fans, super over, the epitome of cool. I mean, so much going his way, and he's not in this world title conversation. But this guy 9 months into the business who doesn't really know what he's doing, he is. And here's your boy, the disciple, Mike Jones.
Oh boy, how about these two leading it out? And from behind, the mailman and Diamond Dallas Page. There he goes. Mike Jones is down. Hit him again, just for good measure. And this is going to lead to, I guess, the finish, although it was pretty good here that we thought the finish would come immediately, and they do that. So I thought that was pretty cool. See that, and the ropes, and then the lariat by Scott Hall, and then the finish will come. But you would think that because of the interference and because of what happened to NWO, that would be it. Now Scott Hall is going to lead into his patented Razor's Edge, or Outsider's Edge. Sorry, I don't want to get sued. Outsider's Edge, and Goldberg ends that. And here comes your finish. Scott comes up. Boom. Not the best Goldberg spear, but look at the fans erupt. Look at that. It's amazing. And it just makes me think that had we worked on it even more, had we given more time to make Goldberg a worker more than just coming out of the power plant, that he would have been even more so a big name than he was. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
I mean, again, we just rode the wave of his popularity without trying to mold him into, I think we're saying the same thing, without trying to mold him into a great pro wrestler. He could have become one. I mean, he could have become a much better worker than he was. But all of a sudden, he was a superstar. He didn't need to be because he was on top. And I guess you could say that about many wrestlers down through the years who were, they could have become better workers. Maybe I don't know. Some people have the aptitude for it. Ric Flair had the aptitude. Ricky Steamboat did. Scott Hall did. Some had the aptitude for it. Some didn't. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have the aptitude. I don't know. That's, again, just freestyling. Scott landed on I think Scott actually landed on his knee wrong on this and really did hurt his knee. Twisted his knee. And then here's the jackhammer, which everybody is, flashing bulbs and going crazy.
By the
As
way,
you can see, they stand up.
are there two guys who look more like the prototype of what a pro wrestler should look like than Goldberg and Scott Hall?
Yeah. What are you saying again?
Like just their physical being, their height, their weight,
Yeah.
their build. They look like the prototype of pro wrestlers.
Yes, they do.
Like if you were to draw out a pro wrestler, odds are pretty good you would draw out a deviation of Scott Hall or Goldberg. Like just
Right.
two
Yeah.
tall, jacked up dudes.
All right. Spice and Vanessa. Whoa, Tigress.
That's like Whispers
Yeah.
whispering some secrets to Mike Tenay there.
Yeah, well, what are you trying to say? I love Whisper. She was a good girl.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you go to Twitter and you type in @TykeMonet, just switch the M and the T.
Mm-hmm.
He's a porn dude.
He is not. Do you believe everything that you read on the internet?
It's a rib, Tony.
Okay.
These are jokes.
Okay. Joke. All right.
Klondike Bill didn't actually eat parking lot panties either. It's a joke.
No, he did do that.
What?
I was the only one that attended, so I'm the only one that really knows.
Here's one of my favorite wrestlers, one of your least favorites. Why did you hate Psychosis?
I didn't hate Psychosis. I just didn't. I wasn't really cool about the horns.
But you're the horny guy. How do you not like that?
Two different type of horns, motherfucker. But I liked Juventud. Liked Hoovy.
Did you ever get any juice?
No, I did not. But I always thought he was a very handsome. I thought when they took the mask off and he didn't want to do it, he was shown to be a very handsome young man. See, look at this. Run to the ring. How about this, man? Is Hoovy still working?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's Hoovy juice.
Yeah. How old is he now? He's got to be in his 40s.
You want to guess for real? Take a real guess.
47.
43.
Okay. Well, good. He can still go at 43. Absolutely. 40 is the new 30.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Look, do you think anybody in this match had a fucking chance after what the fans just salivated for Goldberg? As far as the fans are concerned, are they sitting on their hands or what?
Well, I mean, in fairness, if you're going to get them back up, I would try to do it with a lucha match like this.
Sure you would. Sure, you absolutely would. But it's unfair to these guys. Somebody had to do it, right? And I guess the luchadors being able to do some great spots and do some things that have a chance. Do you know that Conan is coming back to wrestle on our Battle Riot MLW?
I did know that. Did you know that he's going to be at Starcast as well?
Is he really?
Yep.
Is Disco going to be there too?
Yep. He's going to ruin the whole show.
Well, I don't think Conan will, but Disco might.
No, Conan's a draw.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we've talked about the Mexicools before, right?
The Mexicools?
Yeah.
We have not.
Yeah, we did. I told you that Juventud here used to drive a riding lawnmower to the ring for the WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, they call themselves the Mexicools.
And they pretended to be guys who would fix your lawn.
Gardeners and whatnot.
Oh, are these serious?
Yeah. Here's the theme song.
Es hora de cambio. Ha llegado el momento de la batalla, de la guerra. Van a cambiar las cosas.
And then they come out on their lawnmowers right now.
Oh God! Do they have leaf blowers with them too?
Yeah.
Oh, good God! And what era was this? When did this happen?
Early 2000s.
Jesus. Juventud and who? Psychosis?
You know what? I think I told you wrong. I think it was like 05 and 06.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
matter.
Psychosis and Juventud and Super Crazy. Super Crazy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that you saw Super Crazy. He worked with ECW though.
I saw Super Callow. I didn't see Super Crazy. God. Out on a riding mower.
Yeah.
Wow. How
Wait,
about
wait.
a stereo?
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. You had a plantation owner carrying two black guys to the ring with chains on their neck, and you're out here talking about stereotypes?
I didn't have it. I was part of it, but I didn't have it. So don't blame me for that shit. Okay, blame Kevin Sullivan or Dusty Rhodes or whomever, but don't blame me, motherfucker, for that. You blaming me for every angle that happened in WCW?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I did say at the start of this program, I did say that this is the biggest night in the history of our grand sport. And I did say history a number of other times. I was going to count how many times I said history, but I kind of watched this in parts and kind of lost count. But I wasn't the only one that said history in this show, to be honest with you. And I was watching Money in the Bank, and I heard Corey Graves say history. So how come I'm the only one to get blamed for it? Here's a 450, 1, 2, 3. Because it's perpetrated. Mike Tenay said it in this show. But no, Schiavone's the one who gets blamed for it. Now they're going to go to an angle, and the director, Craig Leathers, the producer, are going to say, wow, this angle is good, but guess what? We got to go to a break, guys, because we are running desperately out of time. And this is why they had, again, I understand they got a little bit of it in, but man, they went right to the Goldberg thing.
Win number 75 over Raven. This is at least a big opponent here. And this is when he's going to win the U.S. title, I believe. And he does the jackhammer on top of the stop sign.
Yeah.
Two Jewish superstars here, huh?
How about that? The champion of Landsman. And more Monday Nitro live from a jam-packed. All right, back on the set. Tony Schiavone, Mike Tenay, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Brain, a couple of things I want to say about this match coming up. But before I do, you can listen to the show at the Great Western Forum by going to WCWWrestling.com and listen to it. Listen to it. Do you know, Mike, that now in this era that you have video on demand, you have video online, not just audio. As a matter of fact, we understand that you can see yourself be a porn star on video. Well, Tony, again, that's a lie perpetrated by Conrad Thompson. And I do want to say that I have never been a porn star in my life, although I may have enough size to have been a porn star at one time. Only thing I want to say is that I hope Hogan gets beat because, as you know, I really don't like Hulk Hogan. I never did. Schiavone, I don't like you either. And I'm not so sure if I like today. You didn't like anybody. The fact is, I never did pull my chair up high on purpose to try to be taller than you motherfucker. I just liked a high chair. And that's just the way it was. And now Bash at the Beach, which is going to be our biggest pay-per-view ever, including Diamond Dallas Page and, yeah, the man himself, Carl the Mailman Malone. A press conference that was run by none other than Michael Buffer, who came out and told everybody that it's time to get ready to rumble. And San Diego at the Aztec Center or the Cox Arena, whatever you want to call it, getting ready to hold one of the biggest pay-per-views ever. Conrad, what was the buy rate for this? You said it was the biggest pay-per-view you ever had. What was the buy rate? Do you know? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
Okay. And my question is, as we're going along here, something else I wanted to ask you. I might as well ask you right now because I'm getting bored by this. What was the reaction to this show? Thumbs up or thumbs down? By
they didn't rate Nitros like that.
They didn't rate Nitros like that?
No, just pay-per-views.
Wow. But they talked about it. Obviously, Meltzer talked about it, had something to say about what was happening.
Oh, sure.
I mean, there's
a crowning moment for them.
Yeah, the fact is, I do understand that we had good parts and bad parts of the show, but you can't deny how big this show was for us. And I know it had to actually make Vince, if he didn't already, set up and take notice. I mean, he's doing business like this now with WrestleMania, more than the WrestleMania, but we never did anything like this. We didn't do anything close to this prior to that.
600,000 people purchased this show.
At what, $40 a pop, basically $29.95 a pop, let's say.
That's right. $29.95.
That's a pretty big payday.
I'm
sure
that's a big deal for sure. I mean,
yeah. And I'm sure the payoff was big for the main event, too. I'm sure that they paid Rodman and they paid Malone a lot of money. Did Eric say what they got paid? Have you asked him that?
$1 million.
Did they really? Got $1 million each?
Not for the pay-per-view, for everything they did.
Okay. They were signed to $1 million contract. I got it.
I didn't ask about Karl Malone. Karl Malone may have done it for an 18-wheeler.
He could have. You know, Hacksaw got a pretty good reaction here as well to the fans. Again, if you have some sort of gimmick like a board and you whoa, or you raise your hands up in the air, raising the roof, fans are going to get behind you. It's kind of pretty intelligent marketing of yourself, I would think. Wow, Paul White, ooh, just out of the dressing room.
Where he'd been smoking a cigarette, taking a shit.
He was an intimidating guy, man. I mean, he really was. And he could do a lot of things that other big men could never do. And we're going to see in this match a Hacksaw Jim Duggan take a choke slam, which I thought ended up being pretty good.
Can you process what you just said?
Yes. It was a pretty good choke slam of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Look, I mean, not.
When you see Hacksaw Jim Duggan out here, just minutes after Juventud Guerrera and Psychosis.
Yeah. It's different. I got it. He's not the worker those guys are.
It's just an interesting time. Look at this roster though. Alex Wright, Tokyo Magnum, Disco Inferno.
Okay.
Psychosis, Juventud Guerrera, right. Saturn, Raven, Johnny Swinger.
Yeah.
Scott Putski, Lodi. I mean, Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Judy Bagwell. There's a lot of fucking people here.
There's a lot of people here. Yeah. Now, I'm telling you, the choke slam on Hacksaw Jim Duggan is a good one. Hacksaw, it's better doing a choke slam on a guy the size of Duggan than it is doing a choke slam on like Juventud Guerrera. You can get him up, and it looks good, but it means to me a lot more that you can, Duggan does some crazy things, man. And the Giant went down from him.
What the fuck was that?
What? That? Oh. Just got the big hand up, knocked him out, and now the choke slam down on Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Going to pull down the straps of the tights. That's there, buddy. I know he's got a big steaming pile of shit that he's got ready for us in the backstage area. Watch this now. Duggan's a big guy. We even sold it like this. How about that? Look at that. You don't think that's good?
It's great, Tony. How about Duggan with the one leg up? Just he's used to guys. He's used to being pinned here, so it's just force of habit. It's almost like Pavlov's dogs, right? So the bell goes off and the mouth starts watering. Well, this is the deal. Oh, I got chokeslam leg up.
And now they're going to ask Giant to talk here, and Paul's a little bit blown up, so it wasn't the best interview in the world. He was sucking wind here. And here he's calling out Kevin Green, and we got another appearance coming up here from an NFL player who at that time was playing for the Carolina Panthers and certainly has gone on to be a pretty good coach in the NFL as well. The guy with the laser pointer should have that laser pointer shoved up his ass.
Can we do that at Starcast? Have you stick laser pointers up dudes' asses?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing I hated worse in wrestling than a laser pointer.
Well, a Sharpie up your ass was worse.
Well, it was. No, I'm not talking about up your ass. I'm talking about guys with laser pointers in the audience.
Kevin Green coming in from the Carolina Panthers here, wearing some loafers. It's kind of hard to like a badass in some loafers.
Yeah, especially in white loafers. My God. And white shorts. Ooh, just spit at him. And the referee what's the referee doing there for? I don't know.
He's probably looking for mustard and biscuits, if I had to guess.
He could. So now tell me, why isn't Kevin Green arrested like Dean Malenko was?
Because his dad wasn't the great Malenko.
Okay, I guess so.
How have you never heard that?
What?
Great Malenko, the album from ICP.
No. Well, I mean, that's really... Listen, I like those guys, but that wasn't my type of music. Why would I listen to that? Don't put it on.
What are you talking about?
Don't put it on. I know you're looking to put on something. Go. All right. How about this? Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Well, make it entertaining. You don't want to hear What is a Juggalo. Make it entertaining.
Okay. You were going to play it too, weren't you?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
They're coming to Starcast.
Okay. They are?
Yeah.
With a 2-liter stuck in his butt cheek.
Hang on now. A juggalo is someone who gets butt naked in the streets.
Yeah.
And walks downtown with a 2-liter between his butt cheeks. They're talking about Klondike Bill.
That was actually pretty cool.
A weave in his nut hair. This is butt stinks. This is Klondike Bill.
That is.
Recently, you've been calling some matches with Teddy Hart in MLW, right?
Yes, I have.
What's your impression of him?
Over as shit, man, with the guys or with the fans.
Have you seen his cat's moonsault yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
He's got his cats trading the moonsault, bro.
Yeah, I know. I've got to look that up.
You don't believe me?
But no, I believe you. I want to see it. That's why I said I got to look it up. But you do know that he is he's going to team up with Davey Boy Smith Jr. and they're going to it's the New Heart Foundation
with Brian Pillman Jr. as well, or
with
Brian Pillman.
With Brian, yeah. How about that? That's some pretty good stuff, man, on MLW. Nutshot, come on.
I wonder if he did it because he found out he had a weave in his nut hair.
Or had his dick tied to a rope. Maybe so. Is his daughter the one wrestling now for Vince?
Yeah, she's awesome. Her name's Natalia. She's a very
Natalia?
good wrestler. And her husband TJ, who's also in the family, TJ Wilson, or I guess his wrestling name's Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
Anyway, he listens every week.
Yeah, well, Natalia is very good. I agree. I like Natalia and I like Alexa Bliss. I think they're both, and of course, we love Charlotte as well.
Oh, I got to talk to you about that. But first, I wanted you to hear this line in here.
Okay.
I think you'll appreciate Insane Clown Posse. Hulkamaniac. Come on. Powerbomb, thumbtack, sabooed your mama through a coffee table.
Yeah. Good stuff. I should have listened to it, shouldn't I, through the years?
Well, that's the real great Malenko.
Okay.
And here you go. You see Conan doing his best to make Goldberg look legit here. Great American Bash.
Right.
And I think if you watch closely, you can see, that's the reason Conan needed a new help right there.
Oh. Yeah. God. You know, a lot of times too, when guys would win and a guy would put them over to help their careers, the guy would say on the pin 1, 2, 3. They would kind of look down and say, "Thanks, brother." I didn't notice that here.
He doesn't know any better.
That's right. That's right. He didn't know any better. He was too green, but we made him a star.
Tomato Sting is here.
Tomato Sting may be here, but does Conan look fucking cool or not, man? Oh God! And that Wolfpack music was freaking over, buddy.
Dude, it's still awesome. By the way, though, let me just say, Lex Luger was lame here.
Yeah, he was out of. He shouldn't have been in the group.
Conan and Kevin Nash were cool.
Yes, they were.
Sting looked like a fucking tomato. Lex Luger did not fit.
No, did not fit at all, and that's why he kind of brought up the rear.
Hey, while we're waiting on this, because this is not going to be a long match, I got a real situation I need your help with.
Uh-oh.
We're going to pretend it's just me and you talking for a minute. I know people are listening, but you know, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
You're an old married guy. You've been married forever. We joke about you and Lois all the time, but you clearly know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I need some old marriage advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is all strictly hypothetical. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say you go to the mail, check your mailbox.
Yep.
Get your bills out, get your letters, and bring your mail on in, start sorting through it. And inside the mail is a magazine. And on the inside of this magazine, Lois's sister's ass naked.
Yeah.
You allowed to look at that magazine?
I wouldn't touch it. Nope. I wouldn't look at it.
Now you subscribed to this magazine for years.
Right.
You
ESPN the magazine.
You read this magazine every time it comes in, like within that week, you knock it out.
All right.
But now this time, for the first time ever, your soon to be wife's sister is in it ass naked.
Right.
And the whole rest of the world's going to see it. You allowed to look at that magazine?
You shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Because in 3 months, it won't be an issue anymore, and you won't have missed it. But right now, it's in vogue, it's fashionable, it's the talk. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Okay? Just bite the bullet and don't look at it. I want to also throw this out at you. Tony Schiavone's not going to look at it either. Do you know why?
No.
It'll be like looking at my daughter naked. I mean, it's little Ashley, who used to run around on our events, who was probably here she probably wasn't there that night, but she was always around. And now I'm going to look at her naked? Not a chance. I'm not doing that.
You realize her own dad's tweeting out pictures of it.
Well, do you know her? Give me the name of her dad, please. Say his name.
Richard Morgan Fleer.
Well, ding, ding, ding. Okay. The one and only. And I mean the one and fucking only. Not me. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Okay. Just let the time go by and don't do it. What are you, can I ask you this as a friend?
Yeah.
Have you been told don't look at those?
No. No, it was never. No discussion. I just don't know what protocol is. I never imagined being in a scenario where my sister-in-law was ass naked in a magazine.
Yeah.
That I didn't purchase at a newsstand. I already subscribed before she was announced as being in said magazine.
I got another question. What in the world is ESPN the magazine putting butt naked people on its magazine for anyway?
To sell issues.
Well, I get it, but that's not what they're about.
No, listen, that's what we're doing on Patreon next month. You just don't know it. We're doing a Lois calendar. So you're going to need to get her some. What?
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Well, it's time for our main event. here on eventful filled WCW Monday Nitro and on What Happened When Monday. Woo! Georgia's number one dog, Goldberg. Yes, sir, buddy. I'm cool with that. You know, Goldberg never played his final game. Or he never played in one of the he didn't play in Vince Dooley's final game because he gotten in trouble.
What for? Did he kick somebody's head into the fourth row?
No, he got in. There was a lot of fights, I understand, in practice when Goldberg was practicing with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Sort of like a lot of fights. He tried to beat up and choke out Evan Courageous during a Nitro walkthrough.
No.
Oh, like when he attacked Chris Jericho backstage?
No. Okay. Here comes Goldberg. It kind of blew me away why Goldberg needed this big of this security, right? I mean, if he's a big badass man, why can't he walk himself to the ring?
Well, they're trying to mirror like the boxing thing for Mike Tyson, are they not?
Yeah, I guess they are. You see
there's Doug rocking that 2-tone Submariner.
Yeah, and you have a member of the Georgia State Patrol in the back to your right there. Of course, they always, usher the are around the football coaches, University of Georgia football coaches, head coach. I know Nick Saban probably's got a couple of Alabama State troopers with him everywhere too.
Tony, check this out. I don't know why I just thought of this.
Okay.
See that multicolored polo that dude was wearing? It was like white, red, and black with the Nitro on the chest.
Right.
We got to get that for boxofgimmicks.com. I think
you mean
like just rip that shirt off and then put the WHW logo on there, and then whenever you have like a slapdick convention, everybody can be dressed alike. Can you imagine when we do these get-togethers for our Patreon people? We're gonna have like competitions, except instead of musical chairs, it'll be who can get their chair the highest. There'll be like a makeup chair thing where you're giving beauty tips.
Oh my God.
There's got to be at least one girl in the low-key Big Hogs and the Glass Bottom Boat Riders. And if you personally did their makeup, that would be on time.
Oh my God.
Maybe we could get Terry in here.
Oh my
she
God.
Can do their makeup and just talk our fucking ear off. Bring her dog in a baby stroller. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
That's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's dog in a baby stroller. I know.
It's 2018. Who would have thought when you saw her with Goldust, she was the weird one? Nobody would have guessed that. Nobody.
No, that's right. Oh God. How's her podcast going, by the way?
So Goldberg's here, and he just throws the United States title down to Charles Robinson. Nobody gives a shit about that anymore. And Robinson looks to Pinzer and says, "Did you see what he did?" And Pinzer said, "Yeah, he's going to fucking ruin the business in about 10 minutes.
No more than Pinzer's bow tie is. Whoa.
By the way, Dave Pinzer will be at Starcast.
Wow. I hope he's not wearing that bow tie.
I don't think that bow tie fits anymore.
Probably not. Thank God.
Not making a fat joke, just saying 20 years later, come on.
Well, you never know. I mean, some guys maintain their thinness. I was obviously not one.
I never had it.
I don't know. I saw the picture I saw of you in the Nasty Boys thing as a kid. You weren't that heavy.
No, I've been a fat kid my whole life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't notice that on that picture. I would have not come across that way. Here we come, man.
Man, listen, I love everything about Hogan right here. But him coming out yelling, "I'm going to kick Goldberg's butt."
Mm-hmm.
So ridiculous. Just no sells the drink to the head right here too, which is great.
Yeah.
And I always liked when he's coming in, it's a little thing y'all did, but you tilt the camera so it's like angled when he comes to the ring. And you know what I think that's reminiscent of, and I'm not kidding?
What?
The old Batman TV show.
Yeah.
Because whenever there's a bad guy, they would angle the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever like the Riddler or the Penguin or whoever, I'm talking about the Adam West Batman TV show.
Sure, in the 60s.
They would twist that camera, and I feel like they were doing that here for Hulk Hogan as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's also just, Craig Craig Leather's trying to be creative a little bit here, I guess. I don't know. Trying to be NWO-ish. Hogan looked great here, man. There's going to be a part in this match I thought was kind of funny. You know, Hogan always oiled himself down. But I think the oil that is on him gets in Goldberg's eyes here for a moment. So, boy, we were waiting on this one, man. Charles Robinson doing a great job of making the match mean something by showing the belt. Didn't need to show it to Goldberg because he would have thrown it down as well as the other one. And here we go. Goldberg and Hogan. And they gave him about 15 minutes for this match, I think. Maybe not even that. Maybe about 10 minutes for the match, which is probably long enough. And again, Hogan doing what a great heel does, and that is just letting the crowd get into it, letting the crowd whip up at a fever pitch, and then go into the match. That side headlock looks a little snug there, doesn't it?
You know, I don't think anything surprises me in this match. By the way, let me just say this. How cool would it be to own a pair of Hulk Hogan's boots that were airbrushed like this?
NWO boots?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Like,
why don't you get in touch with him, see if we can't get them?
No, I'm good.
Somebody's got them.
No, for sure. But I'm just saying, you know, he had so much airbrush stuff with the shirts and the tights and the pants and the boots. It's just a totally different look from what we saw before.
Right.
And the meticulousness that it took to like do his own face, which I admit, if you put your face on your own shit, it's a little weird, but somehow when Hogan did it, it wasn't.
Oh, sure. It was with the Hollywood Hogan egomaniac character.
Right.
So it all kind of worked. Now this is where I think, maybe not. I was thinking that he would get some stuff in his eyes here. I'm not sure, but Hogan just cranking on this one here. There you go. See, stuff, and he got some of whatever Hogan was putting on his body and his eyes.
Give everybody a time cue here.
Okay. The time cue is 2:10, 05, 06, 07, 08, 9, 10. And we got about 9 minutes left in the show, of which a lot of it's going to be at the end, the posturing and the champion's shot, victor shot for Bill Goldberg. Hogan doing a great job of selling this test of strength, or the knuckle lock, if you will. Great job. You know, we talk so much about how many people shit on Hulk Hogan, but good God, he could do a lot of great things. And look, Hulk Hogan turning heel, turned WCW around, man. Well, Hulk Hogan just coming to WCW turned it around. Just think how many people can say that in wrestling, that they're coming to a promotion, turned a promotion around. I don't know if anybody can say that. Goldberg not doing a bad job of selling here. You think?
What do you think of the Hulk Hogan back rakes? And by the way, it's not an ODQ match. He's whipping him with the belt.
I know.
He's not disqualifying him.
Right. But again, as we said as announcers, Charles Robinson knows how big this match is. He's just letting it go. So we had to cover that up. And we had to cover that up as announcers without being prompted as to what to say, by the way.
Goldberg rips the belt away, and instead of using it, which the crowd was hot for, throws it down because he doesn't want to do it dirty. He's an honest superstar.
Yes, he is, man. Playing the true baby face. What do you think about when they turn Goldberg heel? I guess it's something we can talk about on a show if we ever do it. Do you think it was the right thing to do?
Well, once you beat him, I don't know what else you got to go with.
Yeah, I know.
Like, once you beat him, his gimmick's dead to me.
Yeah, right.
And how about he knees him, low blows him
with
the mule kick, and Robinson is right there in position, has to pretend like he doesn't see it.
Yeah.
And is telling Hogan to stop pulling the hair. and Goldberg has no hair.
Yeah. Again, it's just that a good referee will do that.
Well,
I mean, like in any sport, right? I mean, the ref's blind. The ump is blind. The ump can't see it. That's a strike. The ump can't see it. You didn't see that holding call? My God, throw the flag. And the referee didn't see it. He had to see it. He was right there. No, he didn't. So, again, just like any other sport, ref is blind.
Can I just tell you that I think Hulk Hogan is the best heel ever?
Yeah. I agree with that. During this era. Wow.
Yeah.
During this era, he was the best heel ever.
Because literally everything he does is getting a reaction from the crowd.
Uh-huh.
And so even if you're like, well, it wasn't really my taste. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just the reaction, but literally everything that he's doing here, the crowd is all over.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the beginning of the match when he just didn't hook up with him immediately. He let the crowd react. He let the crowd get into it. And then he got into the match. Perfect place for this. I mean, if you think about the perfect storm, what's the perfect place for Goldberg to beat Hogan? It is here in Atlanta, Georgia.
How excited were you guys in the office to sort of strut that ass for Turner executives who had to be in attendance?
Yeah, we were really, really excited. I'm not so sure it was this show, but I think Terry McGurk was there, who was one of the top wigs for TBS at that time. I know he came to a bunch of our shows, and I believe he was there for this one as well. And we were strutting our stuff because, we started out, WCW started out as a redheaded stepchild, as JR used to always say, to the Turner people. And now here we were, big time. I mean, I brought this up before. I really think that we're the reason that Turner Broadcasting was able to spend the franchise fee getting the Atlanta Thrashers in the NHL because the cash that we were making for the company at that time. I don't know if that's really the case, if that's true or not, but we all thought that. You're welcome. You got yourself an NHL franchise, which has since gone to Winnipeg. But the fact is that they wanted to go back to the NHL. They got the Thrashers, and they got it because Turner Broadcasting was making money. And why was Turner Broadcasting making money? Well, you're looking at it right now. Leg drop. There's Hulk Hogan's leg drop, buddy. That's the bit. Oh, and here comes members of the NWO. Now you're thinking screw job here, right? Immediately.
No, you're exactly right. That's definitely where you go because you've seen it so many times with the NWO at
this
point.
But now here's Diamond Dallas Page. Yes, sir. And a diamond cutter. That was pretty well done by Karl Malone. And you know what that means? It's time for the spear, Conrad. Whoa.
Man, that
and the fans fucking ridiculous. Are jacking off right now, man.
Look at this crowd.
Oh. They are jacking off. Look at toilet paper coming down.
Call it legit, but dirty.
Okay. Yeah, he picks it up. And Hogan up in the air. He's got him over. Oh, my God. He's going to beat Hollywood Hogan. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, not Hogan's down. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Hulk Hogan loses to Goldberg. Goldberg is the world champion. What in the world were we thinking? We were going for the cheap pop, and we got it right there. Both the U.S. champion and the world heavyweight champion as well. And now the last 3 minutes of the show, we are just going to show victory shot after victory shot of Goldberg and hear the chant of Goldberg, Goldberg, to the point to where I think we actually had recorded Goldberg chants earlier in the night, and we're playing them back through the loop, through the Nat crowd as well, because they were intense. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was really like that. But they were into it. Schiavone kids were there somewhere in attendance, and the fans were digging this, man. Biggest night ever for WCW, do you think?
I do, because obviously it does record business, but also too, it's the go home show before the biggest pay-per-view. When you just count, Monday through Sunday. It's the biggest 7 days in WCW history for sure.
Now they're chanting Goldberg and wow, big night.
It's weird to see the big gold belt here with the NWO spray painted on it. The original 1986 leather there. It's sort of beat up, but you've got all that tradition of Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat and so many of the greats. And of course, most recently, for what feels like years, Hulk Hogan. Of course, the prior year, Lex Luger had it for a hiccup. And now Goldberg does.
Great show, man.
Again,
really a great show. I mean, you say what you want to about Goldberg, but it was a great show. If nothing, look at that. Look at the Goldberg sign in the back, holding up a sign all the way in the back there. Great show for the energy and just the love that people had for WCW back then, and especially for Bill Goldberg.
Let me freestyle this. We were talking about a comparison to Warrior. Is that not the WrestleMania 6 shot right there?
Yeah.
World title, Intercontinental, except now it's world title in US. Both after beating Hulk Hogan in a dome.
Yep.
It's crazy to think about. And there it is. It's the Goldberg era. Things are going to be hot for WCW. Of course, critically, people would say it started to take a dip in 1998, but business was never hotter than in 1998. And they do record business here in 1998. And a lot of it is because of that guy, Bill Goldberg. Well, man, I had fun revisiting this. And of course, we let the folks on Patreon have a crack at what they wanted to hear. And we've got lots of fun suggestions. And I thought, with your permission, Tony, I would run through what some of those suggestions are for what the next episode should be.
All right.
You can just sort of give me some feedback and some response. And then we're going to let the folks on Patreon go ahead and vote. If you haven't already, you should check out all the crazy bonus content that Tony's been posting over at patreon.com/WHW Monday. You can join there for just $7 a month and you can participate in all this silliness. And we do have some bonus shows. In the month of June, we had 2 bonus shows, one covering the King of the Ring 2001 and one covering NXT War Games. There's no telling what we're going to cover here in July. So don't miss out on the fun. Go join us right now, patreon.com/WHWmonday.com. I want to run through some of these suggestions, Tony, and you can just give me some, that could be fun, or fuck that. How's that sound?
Okay.
Starcade 94.
Starcade 94. Fuck that.
Clash of the Champions, November 94.
Nah,
Super
fuck that.
Brawl 95.
Okay, that could be fun.
Bash at the Beach 98, which is the pay-per-view 6 days after this.
Absolutely.
Bash 2000, which is the Hulk Hogan Vince Russo thing.
Oh yeah, we got to do that.
Great American Bash 05, ICP Stranglemania, Bash at the Beach 99, Starcade 96. Here's a good one. Great American Bash 1990, where Sting first won the world title.
Yep, that would be a good one too.
The inaugural War Games on the network, which could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of votes here for Bash at the Beach 2098. ECW's Heat Wave 2000. Bash of the Beach 1995, which they did outside, which you probably remember.
Yeah, that was Huntington Beach, California, right?
That's right. Bash of the Beach 99 with the Junkyard Invitational. You've also got the No Limit Soldiers and the West Texas Rednecks.
Yeah.
Backlash 04, which is a WWF pay-per-view. Super Brawl 2, which is fun. August 17th, 1998, which is Warrior's debut. The April 10th, 2000 episode of Nitro, where Bischoff and Russo bring in a new era.
Yep, that's going to be a good one too.
The July 2nd, 1998 Thunder, which is where they announced the match that we just saw. Halloween Havoc 91, Chamber of Horrors, which is ridiculous.
I thought we already done that, haven't we?
Invasion 2001, which could be fun. Beach Blast 92. Raw 25, the 25th anniversary of Raw from January of this year. Fall Brawl 95, Slamboree 94, Spring Stampede 1990, Hardcore Heaven 97, Royal Rumble 1990, Royal Rumble 2000. Man, there's so many good suggestions on here.
Oh my God.
Of course, the WWF ones we're only going to cover on Patreon, but we're going to pick out 4 of these topics. It looks like Great American Bash 1990 is certainly coming your way this month.
Right.
Probably Great American Bash 2000 or 98 as well. And who knows what else? Maybe we can do a little Bash at the Beach 95 action in there. The one from California on the beach. Lots of good stuff coming your way. If you'd like to vote, we're going to narrow it down to a handful of topics and let Patreon vote. Cruise on over and toss down your vote right now at patreon.com/WHW Monday. And we're going to hook up with 2 low-key big hogs later this month and knock out a couple of bonus shows. I'm having fun doing this outside of the box stuff with you, Tony.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of great fun on Patreon. It's, you know, when you and I talked about doing Patreon, I realized it would be some extra work for us, but it's been a lot of fun work being able to do this and being able to put videos together, and I'm editing videos together, and I'm doing some stuff that, God, I hadn't done in a long, long time. So yeah, we're having a great time. Thank you for all of this, and thanks for all of our patrons for being out there.
And Tony, when I look at my clock, I can't help but think it's about that time.
Well, it's time for our main event this week here on WHW Monday, and it's one-on-one. Conrad Thompson going up against Road Warrior Animal this week, and it's going to be a belly bump contest between these two. And yes, my goodness, look how big that animal has gotten in his salad days. And he will come into the ring doing the belly bump with Conrad Thompson. They bump back and forth. And coming to the ring is, I don't know what her name is, but looks like she is going to try to give Road Warrior Animal a happy ending. And we're out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When on the MLW Radio Network and on
Patron.
I'm old. Yes, I'm old. And I'm Fred. Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Patreon.com/WHW Monday. If you want more of Conrad Thompson and Tony Schiavone, complete with behind-the-scenes videos and new content every week. And by lowestrules.com, still one of the hottest sites on ProWrestlingTees.com to get your t-shirts from What Happened When. Why do you need to go to a website to get a t-shirt? And also named after a crazy lady, crazier than me. And by BoxingGimmicks.com, with useless stuff like coffee mugs, baby onesies, beach towels, koozies, and a whole lot more. To seriously show your support because you're a sellout like that Conrad guy for What Happened When, something to wrestle with, and 83 weeks, then go to BoxingGimmicks.com and buy Slapdick Theater with your host Kellner's Adumas, coming to Patreon in July. Well, that's great. Slapdick Theater. The kids will love it. I'm sure I'll love it. Maybe Tony Schiavone can wheel me around to get something to eat. I'm hungry, and I'm old. Let me out of this closet, damn it.